wrong one.
Yeah, my roommate's situation has been worn out.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
They exist now.
I'm just explaining why I'm tired.
Oh shit, our signature opening. Fuck! I thought we stopped that. I will keep this meme alive. It will die with me, you fucker. Look, if either I say that, or, I don't know, I come up with some other curse word to say.
That or beep.
You're a dead meme walking, Gary.
And I'm a dead man walking, what's your point?
No, you aren't. You're very much alive.
No.
You're the me man.
See, you hallucinating.
He's trying to hide himself, but he's...
I can't. I'm too fat.
I say, do what I gotta do.
I got that Gluck 20,000 suck your soul out through your dick.
Okay, for those.
Alright, so it's been 2 weeks because, cat.
We now have a 5th player. It is the cat. That is the
Now we have a secondary DM that is the cat.
Yes.
Not this cat.
I go to talk to the bartender. Meow. I get the bartender to meow.
I don't speak cat.
Scratchballs, where are you? We need a translator.
I mean, the closest you'd get to cat is Tabaxi.
Yeah, plot twist. Tabaxi is just a series of meows, growls, and purrs.
Meow, meow, meow.
Plot twist. It's Khajiit case. That cat, that house cat, is actually your brother, just born under a different moon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that would work.
Meanwhile, Kenra is just the barking of dogs.
What would the bird say for vicious mockery? Cut your leash into pieces.
This is my last reborn.
Domestication, no breeding, can't give a heck because they knew your weenie.
Wow.
Anyway, so,
No, vicious mockery for Kenra. You look like a pug.
That is pretty vicious.
damn fine one.
No. Your father was a pug and your mom was a poodle.
How do you know my genealogy?
Oh, God.
Anyway,
No. Your father was a pug. Your mother was a cheap chihuahua.
Your father was a pug. Your mother smelt of chihuahua.
Anyway, due to Terry missing last week, because he ate something that killed his stomach.
I either ate something killed me. Actually, I think honestly, I ended up breaking a fever that night. I think I actually ended up catching.
You said that too.
Yes, I think I ended up. Either I caught something, or my teriyaki chicken was out for my blood.
We'll go with that one. That's funnier.
Teriyaki murder.
So what had happened was the group met up with 2 new people.
Abominations unto the gods.
And made their way back to Valaki. Met up with Irina and Ismark at Fiona Watcher's house. Got into a fight with some vampire spawn. He had a slight confrontation with Captain Ezek.
Yep, wanted to murder. Getting to the thinking he's probably gonna have to murder the guy.
Vampire hunter missed out on hunting vampires? Oh.
No, he missed out on the vampires hunting us.
I bought a puppet.
Oh yeah, they also visited. Hold on. Yeah, they also visited Blinsky's toy shop. Finally, he bought a ventriloquist dummy version of Strahd. He bought a mummified Marishka doll.
Yes, because mummification is a big thing for him.
He's no fun. He's no Blinsky.
Damn straight.
And then the top of the Baron's house exploded. And after a little bit of investigation, there was a minor altercation. Didn't come to violence. Before reconvening back at Fiona Watcher's house, where you guys were, you found her husband, who constantly has Jump to Repose cast on him because he is dead and lying on the bed. And also digging through, he found a box full of bones, and at the bottom of it was a Goltia staff. Staff from made from the branch of a vampire tree.
Oh boy. Vampire tree. That don't sound good.
Vampiric tree.
The Goltius trees.
Oh, lovely.
Rahadin then showed up and said, "Get in the carriage, you're going to the castle."
Yeah, how long is this trip gonna be?
About a day.
A day. Dear God. So,
So that's where you guys are now. You are now in the carriage. It's approximately somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock at night, and you are on your way east to the castle. Well, hold on. Maybe it's going to be less than a day. Let me check that. Hank. I thought I heard Hank freaking out.
I produced crossbow.
I'm not sure you can do that with a
you are a
crossbow.
peculiar human. There we go.
Yeah, so you have to go from here. I don't know how well you can see that. To here. So yeah, that's probably going to take about a day.
Oh boy.
I'm throwing this warrant out now. I don't remember the voice I gave Carlos III because I honestly...
I think it was basically just
Gargling grapple.
Carlos the First.
Well, the problem is it's been 3 weeks, so the problem is my brain forgot. Because...
Just say Metal Gear.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, voice acting tip number whatever. If you forget what your voice sounds like, just try to imitate where you based it from. In this case,
Metal Gear.
Yep. So, you guys are in the carriage with Irina and Ismark on your way to the castle. What are you doing besides enjoying the ride and looking out at the pitch black scenery?
This should be
Enjoying.
quite a trip, I imagine.
I'm just. Blue is fidgeting with his hands, transforming them every couple of seconds. Just
I
fidgeting.
would suggest we are all relatively new to each other. Perhaps you three are more accustomed than myself, but
Not really.
I feel it might be pertinent to discuss some things.
I'll look to Scratch.
Metal Gear.
Such as?
What has brought you here, where you perhaps hail from, may be useful to know in a way, in terms of survival.
Look, hold on.
You would survive here as you would in any other land. The creatures just happen to be more common. I, along with my original party, a friend of mine, had entered through the mist, such as you yourself had described. Not much else I can say.
From which
Strahd
land
was thinking,
do you hail?
what's that place called?
Which one?
The one from the first campaign.
There were a lot of places in the first campaign.
The realm.
whole, the realm.
The world was called Orbis. If you're thinking of like the main hub city, that was Elmere.
I think you probably want to know the realm name since to you, I imagine that would just be...
I come from a place called Ellesmere.
It is unfamiliar to me, but my land is different from this one.
I also come from that world. I was outside of a neighboring town, hunting a vampire, when I found the mist and journeyed through. I ended up here.
He looked at Blue.
Not paying attention.
Little one. Where brought you here? What occurred to bring you to this place?
Oh, and he kind of transforms into like kind of a half elf woman, very sheepish. So I just wanted to fill an almanac. That's all I came here for. That's all I wanted to transform back.
Seemingly, they said they came here willingly and were offered the means to travel here.
Vistani are real nice, as far as I can tell.
I think they may have done you dirty on this one.
No place quite spells out the spirit like this one.
This is true.
Within my first day of being here, I almost died.
And I've only just arrived, perhaps a day, and I've already come closer than I'm accustomed to death, especially my brother has.
How's Irina looking right now?
Just kind of staring out the window, very intensely, not even saying a word. She just kind of has this face that just screams, "Son of a bitch!"
I'm going to take my puppet
you dare. I know what you're thinking.
Inch it closer to her.
Sakani would like to reach over and grab his hand before he does get too close.
Make a dexterity roll.
Dexterity check with Sakani. It's not Kufu doing it, Sakani. Dexterity check. 14.
You go ahead and do one too, just to see if you can keep it out of his reach.
I'm not like trying super hard.
Oh, I mean, you can choose to fail if you want.
No, I'm gonna keep the roll. 18.
And you rolled a what now?
14.
All right, so you see him doing it, and he just kind of like taps your hand away.
Take the puppet hand.
I had Irina roll up perception, and you guys just see his mark go. They're like, ah!
Oh!
And Sakani sighs and says, "It is not a good idea to
What the
further
fuck?
traumatize someone."
Scratch paws,
You
lets out
seemed
a
upset,
chuckle.
so I wanted to cheer you up by making.
You're gonna cheer me up with a puppet that looks like that motherfucker?
He's going to reach over and pat Blue's shoulder and say, "Put it away for now, little one. I doubt the master of these lands will find it very appealing. For now."
Puts it away, not thinking about that at first. Like, you, in Strahd's voice, you have a point.
Out of character, I love that Blue is answering to little one.
Oh,
As my grandfather,
Irina, you broke my finger.
as my grandfather would say,
I think I broke mine.
as my grandfather would say, I'm pretty sure he would probably stick that dog right where the sun don't shine.
Ismark.
I'm just looking.
Probably, if he doesn't shove it down his throat first.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking to break the tension.
I believe you made it worse.
What are your respective lands like? All of you.
But my own town I called home was cold enough to freeze a man in his sleep.
He visibly shudders. I am highly unaccustomed to what you cold. My homeland is a vast desert with a great river running along the heartland of our lands, that where much of our cities and towns survive.
We call it Egypt. Our favorite pastime is card games.
Outside of the riverway, the only means of water are the occasional desert oasis or spring. They are uncommon enough that much of our lands are directly on a river.
I'm familiar with hearing of deserts. I've not had the experience of one myself, luckily. But I am, if you are not accustomed to cold, I am far from accustomed to heat.
Sakani nods, looking at the others.
Look at where I'm from.
Ellesmere had a variety of places, didn't it?
Ellesmere was the city.
Ellesmere was where I was saying we were from, where Carlos was from, the cold of all hell.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, especially in winter. Kind of like northern Alaska.
Yeah, so we had that, and we had the jungle.
You were in the jungle. You did go to the desert a little bit. Remember when you were going to the facility that was harnessing hell energy?
I know, we went to the desert a little bit. Senior did.
Senior did.
Third did it. And I'm just in my own head canon. Third never went to the desert.
Yeah, that's about it.
Shit.
I come from a land just as cold as this.
Oh, I'm from Colt.
I'm unfamiliar with this place.
It's
Is Mark and Irina look at you before you even answer? They're like, "You're from a cult?"
Colt.
Oh, I thought you said a cult.
No. You wouldn't be the first to assume that.
Would it or would?
Wouldn't be the first people, because knowledge cleric is kind of a neutral ground.
Meanwhile, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Palo the Morning Lord?
Praise the sun.
Nail it to their door. No, I just grew up in a small town called Gold. It's it's standard living.
Your
Churches, hanging out by the lightning rail, things like that.
he tilts his head and says, "Your definition of standard living is vastly different than mine."
Well, to be fair, I did a lot of the work in the church since the
What is this lightning rail?
That's a good question.
it's like a train.
What's a train?
It's
This is his asking, by the way. I should have said, what's a train?
it's kind of like a carriage, but it's not drawn by horses. It's powered by kind of like a battery.
The only means of rapid conveyance I am familiar with are boats and barges. Perhaps horseback if you must go into the deserts.
Oh, it's much faster than a horse. You would love it. It's so much fun. I've actually never gotten to ride one, but I always see them going past. It's really fun.
Interesting.
The fastest means of transportation I'm familiar with is teleportation circles.
That's faster. That's faster.
Yes, the fact that you're literally bending space and time.
But I think we're kind of getting off topic. Is kind of who's driving the car right now?
Rahadin.
Can Rahadin hear us?
Well, it's kind of a closed carriage, so no.
Rodden's the guy with the screaming clip.
Yeah.
Can we still hear that?
It's very Rahadin, if you're within a certain range of him, you'll be hearing screams coming off the phone.
Concern.
They're the screams of the people he's killed.
One of the first people I met.
Stares in concern.
Two thoughts. One, badass. Two, concern.
You can kind of faintly, it's not as, but more,
Still just getting a little tinnitus out of there.
sorry.
But
It just kind of sounds like, if you've ever been really far away and heard a crowd just screaming at, like, say, a concert or whatever.
that's fair. So I will retransform into Father Rockwell, getting into a business swarm. Like, okay.
Irina speaks up. That is, I don't think I'm ever going to get used to that.
It's fair. Nobody ever does. Normally we hide it.
You'd be rather intriguing back home, you one.
As a circus act.
No.
As
You
Mark
would
says.
prove to be quite a. He thinks for a moment. Quite an interesting addition to the Pharaoh's court. He is
Pharaoh? Is
the
that like a king?
he is the leader of our land, the blood of the gods, in our way custom.
I could be in his court.
He has quite a vast court. He welcomes many different perspectives.
Fascinating. But might be getting a little off topic. Scratch Paws, you've been here the longest. Have you met Strahd more than once?
I have not met him at all.
Except for that time outside that castle.
Yeah. I was with you the very first time I had seen him.
So,
I have met this man before, though. The one driving the carriage. I have seen him.
so how do we go about this? 'Cause you see my form like kind of melt just a tad bit and then form back up. Like I'm kind of freaking out a little.
I think
Our original plan had gone awry, as we could not prepare. And then you see Scratch.
Oh yeah, by the way,
just
to let Terry know, their original plan was to disguise him as Irina.
yeah,
Irina.
I will call up to speed on that by them.
Okay.
Yeah, the original plan was the old bait and switch.
Didn't have time to implement it.
I paw up my whiskers, thinking,
I will copy you.
You look over and now there's an exact copy of you
Stares at
pulling out whiskers.
Stares at you, motherfucking
I cross my arms. I would probably suggest, doing my best to ignore it, I would suggest that because I really like in the shadows, you guys could try to keep him occupied while me and what you told me your name before, Carlos, right? And you told me that your name was Carlos, right?
For reference, I as well.
I would suggest that perhaps you could try to keep him occupied while Carlos and I scout out the rest of the building. We are good at that.
Leave us
If he
I would
is
not want
able to
choice.
disrupt your initial plans, it's likely he will know when someone is absent at his table.
Does he know what a lightning rail is? Maybe I can talk to him about lightning rails.
In my experience with vampires, they tend to be very paranoid about their areas. If we try sneaking around with a gun, we're just gonna be kicking a hornet's nest. I think our best play may very well be to play alone. See if we can end this without a direct confrontation. I think even if we try to take them on right now, I think all five of us will be in a casket by the end.
From what I have gathered, he has offered us the proverbial milk and honey of hospitality.
I think it's best to. He doesn't. If he wanted us dead, we'd already be done.
Irina speaks of you have no idea how right you are.
I think our best play will be, especially with them accompanying us. I think our best plays will be play alone and play the act of gracious guests, and hope that we can leave with our hides intact. And maybe if we can keep him talking, get him to divulge some information. I think words will be our best weapon right now.
I do not disagree with your plan, but I find it ironic that it is coming from you, the man who kept the crossbow aimed at him.
Believe me, I would not want to fight there. I kept my crossbow solely because if he were to begin swinging at me, I may please get one bolt in him before I go.
I will play alone, but I will not lay down my life. If I see the chance, I will try to take it.
Amen. If he tried to take my weapons from me, he's gonna have a hard time.
Ismark speaks up at this point. Just to give you some reference, though, in Scratch Paws, I think you were told this story.
I would transform into Ismark and copy him as well.
He takes a few seconds. Freaky as fuck. Just to give you guys some idea, like I said, Scratch Paws, you might have already been told this. About a year ago, 100 people stormed the castle to try to take him.
I do.
None of them survived. Nobody came out of the castle.
Into the fortress, then.
I mean, what? Do we know anything from that invasion?
Have the people who performed the attack been seen in any forms afterwards?
One or two of them might have been wandering the countryside as a zombie. Other than that, there are rumors that his castle is filled with all sorts of traps. Trap doors, teleportations, spike traps, all kinds of nasty creatures that would eat you as soon as look at you.
I suddenly remember the books that I have about playing the organ, and my knowledge that.
Pulls out organ playing for dummies.
Well, I take it out.
Pulled out organ.
I'm
Oh,
just, well, I take it out.
Organ died.
It's hard to keep focused.
Sorry.
I take it out, and I say, I would assume that a man as mad as him, with a reputation such as his that precedes him, I would assume that he would take very much interest in these topics. I had found he is very fond of the organ, as I had come to learn from his brother in the sword that I carry. His family is also known.
Excuse me? That's both Ismark and Irina saying, excuse me?
Don't worry about it.
He says the soul of one of his kin is imbued inside a blade of magical energy.
Speaking of which, if he does not know you have that, we need to keep that secret as much as we can. Because he may very well want to take that blade, and that very well may be our only lead on.
You hear the voice of the sword in your head, Scratch Paws. Yeah, he has a point. Whatever you do, do not let me out of your hands or off your belt.
As if I had not think it already.
Brings up a very interesting question. Will we have to check the weapons at the door?
Carlos is a firm believer in the Second Amendment.
Is that like the treaty of Thronehold? Because I don't understand.
That's not in character. That's not in character. That is not in character.
We should assume that he will make an effort to, in some way, hamper more obvious weapons while we are there.
So do we strip our armor off at this point? Are we literally just going to dinner with the man?
Weapons should be the most obvious thing, and if we are to carry them inside his home, we should expect they will be either taken from us and returned, or taken and not returned.
Yeah. Irina speaks up. I'm sorry, what was your name? Sekiro?
Sekani.
Sakani, I'm sorry. You do have a point. You said that you come from a land with a king, and I would assume it's very similar when you go to visit the king. You don't bring weapons in because you don't want to run the risk of an assassination.
Pharaoh for one, but yes and no. Ornamental ceremonial weapons are permitted, but not of the killing kind that I would carry. Except me and my brother are the only ones who carry for actual weapons for protection.
There's a possibility that they would still be kept, that they would still be confiscated, because, like I said, if he is a lord, he doesn't want to run the risk of a possible assassination, especially after the failed coup last year.
How fast is his carriage?
Average horse walking speed.
So
Where
not
am I
enough where I
sitting in
can.
this carriage?
Do what?
Where am I sitting in the carriage?
Wherever you guys want.
I'm just looking out the window at this point.
I'm squished.
I had a suggestion.
I'm the big
Oh, sorry.
What was your
cleric
suggestion?
guy in the middle.
Well, had he not been interrupted, Scratchpaws would have laid out some topics to distract him with. Sorry. Not in character, I'm mad, but out of character, I'm funny jokes.
Can I?
I'm looking out the window. I was out of character. I was planning to bring up his family's history and the organ to see if maybe one of you quick learners could try and distract him in case we get the opportunity, because he's mad and he's upset.
If we are to maintain prolonged conversation in some way, would you all suggest we attempt? What sort of things may interest him most?
Carlos gives a lighthearted chuckle. I could tell him about the many of his kin that had killed.
I'm just slowly reading.
I do not know. From what I have heard of the man, he may not take kindly to that sort of topic.
I'm out with you, Scratch Paws.
Well, as I was saying before, I have this book on how to play in Oregon. Something he is fond of. His family history also resembles that of conquering nobles. How it came to be. I
said
have it all right here.
Conquering?
Conquering, yes. How he came to be here.
But he may have some
And I
interest
bring out the Tome of Strahd as well as, and the Tome of Strahd has his family history and the Oregon book, and I offer it to anybody who wants to read it.
the book. Then it is likely that he will have some interest in the arts of warfare and weaponry from perhaps different lands.
What book are you flipping through?
Don't struggle.
Then flipping through it, you see that before he became a vampire, he was essentially a warlord. Here, I'll flip it over. It's
Was his name Vlad Tepes?
Tepesh.
Tepesh?
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
His name
If
has
you-
quite the
if
deal
you
with
don't.
history.
Yeah, I don't have that. That is unusual. Most vampires I met would be more interested in playing with organs, not the organs.
You learn something of every day.
Men of war often have peculiar hobbies and interests. It is easy to lose yourself in such a task. Something to bring you out of it is far more valuable than another means of killing.
I can see.
If I were to guess how this would go, I would assume that he would not be keeping his eyes on us at all times, giving us an opportunity to see what we can find throughout the castle. I could be wrong.
Maybe you would give us a tour.
From where I am from, most nobles do that. They host a house for a day, let you rest, and get you ready for dinner. Then you have it.
But we also deal with a mad vampire. He could be very well deep in the paranoia.
Perhaps he has gone this far in providing us transportation to his home for a meal with two very unexpected guests.
Yes. We're going to be having dinner with him. Maybe you can seduce him and transform him into a vampire. Once again, lighthearted chuckling.
just half-orc daggers.
Do not traumatize them with the one.
It's like, I am not your one. I'm not your whore to play with.
Scratch pauses, just toying with his claws. Where I'm from, most lords let their power make them naive. The way I see it, it is only another thing to take advantage of.
They do, yes.
It's possible. It's worth considering at the very least, even though I do not think it is a wise idea.
Well,
We
What?
will see.
What? Oh, god damn it. What?
I have a question for you, sir.
I might have an answer for you, sir.
In the once child king, now old man king, or there a different king back in the great land borders?
It's been about maybe 45 years. So yeah, he's middle-aged by this point. What?
He's now the middle-aged king, but he's still king though.
He hasn't suffered the same fate as his dad. So,
Or
ain't
your
nobody
father.
solving a murder mystery this time.
Oh,
scratch paws. How much have you talked to Rahad? Do you think you could give us some details of what to expect? You just
What was my first interaction with Rohan like?
You guys, it was after you and Zaymar arrived. You met Irina and Ismark and buried Irina's dad after he died. And Rahadin was there to essentially to say that he came on his master's behalf to pay his respects to one of his master's servants. And I forget exactly what the conversation was. I do know that it was like, dude, that was basically, dude, the screaming, back up. And he said to Irina, doesn't matter where you go, my master's going to find you, or something to that effect. It's been a few months. It was a very brief encounter.
The only other time that I had seen this man was whenever he came to pay respects to his lord's servant.
Irina speaks up, my dad.
But they always know where we are. Always.
Somehow.
shot in the dark. And I remember the doll. It's like, Irina, do you keep track of your things like your hair or your clothes or anything? Like, do you know if anyone's been taking them?
No, why?
Would I have enough knowledge to describe a scrying filter?
Make an Arcana check.
would Kufu be able to, perhaps?
You can make an Arcana check too.
That's one.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's see what he gets.
You are a scrying expert.
12.
It's in my. It's in
Yeah,
my
you're
spell
not
list.
entirely sure. You, however,
Kufu is more of a combat mage.
I would just pull up the right here.
Kufu's more combat oriented, as he is supposed to be a bodyguard.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, scrying can work if someone has a something that belongs to the person, like a body part, a lock of hair, a bit of nail, or even if they just so much as seen a picture of the person.
You might have been being scried upon, Irina.
What does that mean?
It means that someone who's been watching you through magical means. Scrying spells are almost in a way like having someone keep tabs on you, but not having a person actually be there to watch you.
Great.
If Strahd is well versed in magic, or dare I say somebody's working for him that you may have known, that might have how they found you.
I have a query
Great.
for our resident expert on this man. You have the means to commune with his brother, yes?
That I do.
Would his brother perhaps know of any prior obsessions of his kin? People, things.
He speaks up about the only thing he is obsessed with was my fiancée Titania. But then, well, I don't really know what happened after he murdered me. All I know is he wanted her, he coveted her, even on the day of our wedding.
He does not know.
Nothing at all. Because
So,
that's not.
is the carriage going to stop at any point?
At some point, maybe to let you guys get out and, relieve yourselves.
Piss break.
Yeah, good old.
That sword didn't actually speak up, right? It was in my head.
It was in your head.
So you guys
What sword?
The sun sword.
What sword? You don't have a sword.
Scratch paws.
I quietly moved it into my backpack so that it wouldn't be seen.
You have a very ornate butt plug.
We don't even exist, Scratch Balls. This is all in your head.
I blink and I'm in the carriage alone.
This just got
You blink
existential.
again, you're not even in a carriage. You're tied down on some whore's bed.
Oh shit, that's actually a great idea for an existential horror campaign.
Sir,
You are
don't
aware that you are minis on a grid and that there are giant people playing with you. You just can't do anything about it.
Sir, don't you know the number one rule of being a player? Do not give the DM ideas!
Don't worry, that's not going to be the plot of the third campaign.
I hope.
Is it sad that I'm already thinking about that one?
No, I'm right there with you, sir. I just had to shelf my current campaign because of problems.
Plot twist, this is just me reminiscing. I'm an old tabaxi sitting in a rocking chair.
Plot twist, everybody died. I've just been living in the woods of Barovia for the last 100 years.
Sounds like something I would do.
Plot twist, we have to kill Strahd here, and you got out, but the rest of us died.
If you guys somehow manage to kill Strahd during this interaction and end this right now, it's like, well,
The campaign's over. Speedrun.
that wasn't supposed to happen.
I don't even think it's possible.
Speedrun your campaign, 80% speedrun.
Oh look, first page, done. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, maybe when we get out, we can all talk to Rahad and see what to expect, what the etiquette will be.
I would think he would become suspicious.
Because half of us don't know anything about eating with royalty, so it's an honest question.
At least most of you, I presume.
This is true, yeah. You have the most. If he doesn't talk, then.
Although
Accounting
my understanding it would be different than what he is accustomed to.
This is true.
Royal banquets are not common in my lands.
I'm just kind of sink back in my chair and just play with the cup and bite my finger.
Irina's still eyeing that thing warily. She's like, where did you even get that thing?
Toy shop.
It's just real sad. If it's not fun, it's not fun.
Oh, I get it.
Before I
So who else got any trinkets from that place?
He will hold up the nesting doll. Mummified nesting doll.
Ismark speaks up. I'm not going to lie. I actually kind of like that.
I was more interested.
A little macabre, but I kind of
I
like
was
it.
more interested in the mummified core. Mummification is something I am familiar with in my lands.
I will scooch go closer to Scratch Paws. I'm scared.
Sorry, I think I cut you off. Were you about to say something?
Yes, I was. Before I forget, any casually slides each of you a silver dagger. Because I have 4 of them for some reason.
You got 4 from the church.
So,
in Velocity.
3 of them.
I won't take one.
Well, because you have 4. That would
Nah.
include you.
Perhaps you may find these useful. I had intended giving them to my other party members, but they are no longer here.
He's still just kind of eyeballing the puppet. Because I read the tome of Strahd.
Your arm.
I won't get it.
Like, out of character, give me your arm. Cross is grabbing your arm.
Still holding the puppet.
And I still have 1 silver dagger.
I'm having a moral
Well,
conundrum.
no. Yeah, you have one dagger for yourself. The other 3. Carlos is going without.
Yeah.
But
That's what I meant.
He has 2.
he have 1. Because
Those he given
He
one?
had 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
well, no, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
The fourth one went to Carlos.
Unless he, because he'd given one to everyone.
Well, you have 2 characters.
Yeah, true.
My thought process. Carlos has a magical crossbow. He'll be fine. And also, if he gets a chance of silver rapier the moment he gets a minute to
Your attack
blacksmith
bonus
money
also
for it.
goes up whenever your proficiency bonus goes up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What was that? I heard something about proficiency bonus.
He's asking if your attack bonus also went up
Does
with
the
it.
damage also go up?
No, just
No.
the attack bonus.
Damage is based off of whatever modifier the weapon is. So it's about 20 minutes later, the carriage comes to a stop, and the door opens, catches you guys by surprise because now you hear the screaming full force as Rahadin opens the door and steps aside and says, "Perhaps you'd like to stretch your legs and go relieve yourself behind a tree."
I thank him, and then I step out.
You are most gracious, sir.
It's a long trip, and even my bladder can't hold out forever.
Carlos gets up, takes one step, and like a firecracker going off up his leg.
I was just thinking about that scene from The Simpsons where Grandpa gets to the car. Oh, we need a shot at no, that's my choice. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm going to try very hard not to be alone with Rahad, and I'm just trying to stick to the group as best I can.
Okay.
I don't really need to relieve myself, but I'll stand next to a tree and pretend that I am. Can I make a perception check to notice anything?
Sure, go ahead. Getting ready to record me as a raven.
No, I'll have a moment.
It's pretty dark. You figure it's probably close to midnight at this point. You've been going for about 4, maybe 5 hours. Really nothing but the trees, the wind. Maybe off in the distance you might hear something moving, but that's about it.
Because I know which direction is north, which direction would we be going?
East.
East, okay. We're heading east. I'll wait to inform the party of this. But other than that, I just step back in the carriage.
Alright, as you walk back to the carriage, Rahadin's just climbing back up to the driver's seat.
If anyone is near Carlos as he goes behind a tree.
Oh, God.
I legitimately look up the sound of fucking trees bubbling.
I look to Irina and Ismark. Should we talk to Rahad? I don't know what to do here. I'm still pretty weak. I can't.
What do you mean by weak?
We haven't taken our long rest yet, so I'm.
Well, I would say in that time in the carriage, you guys would have gotten in a short rest, obviously. So, I mean, you can re-roll to get back some health from that.
Oh yeah, I'll do that then. I wasn't sure.
Oh, perfectly, we're full of health.
Why did I do that? I'm supposed to roll a d8.
What did you roll? A d20?
I did, yeah. Wishful thinking. Wishful fucking thinking.
Remember, re-roll ones.
Understood.
If anyone else took some hit from the fight, you guys go ahead and roll health too.
You good, John?
Yeah.
Went down the wrong
Still-
hole.
No, I don't know why.
How many? I forget. How many d8s or how many hit dice do we roll for short rest?
You can roll up to all of them.
As many as you'd
As
like.
long as if it gets you full health.
4. That I can do.
I'll roll them for you. So I'll roll them. There's
As I'm patching myself.
Connie.
Should we
5. We'll get him to 54. That'll be fine.
Rahad in here? I'm afraid to talk to
My max health is 34.
Ismark puts a hand.
Now I'm 40.
Actually, Actually, you know what? Ismark puts a hand on your shoulder. Come on. We're with you.
I'm trying really hard not to transform in front of him.
Just take it easy. Because if anything, keep telling yourself, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's
Well,
just a
try to
murderer.
stay out of the range of the screaming.
With 100 bodies underneath his feet.
Try to stay out of the range of the screaming. So as they go with you back to the carriage, there anything you wanted to do or say?
I-
Let me double check the range on the screen, by the way.
I am literally just too terrified to talk. I don't want to be the one to initiate that.
So
Okay, as long as you're 10 feet away from him, you won't hear it as much. Okay, so he sees you guys, you Ismark and Irina approach. Is there something I can help you with?
He's looking for the rest of his party mates. He's like, I'm just trying to stick close to Irina.
Where are you three anyway?
Sakani and Khufu are off in the distance a little bit. Khufu's making gestures to cast message to convey something to Sakani.
Okay.
I'm in the carriage trying to nod off to sleep.
I'm taking a roll to see if I'm actually outside still or if I got back in the carriage too. Survey says I'm outside because apparently I just wasted a nat button 20 on that. Wow, thanks, dog. I love you too.
Then you would see Blue with Irina and Ismark at the front of the carriage trying to talk to Rahadin.
Carlos will walk up and upon noticing, literally feeling the choke in the air, just try to walk up.
Hey. I heard cat meow.
I heard dog. Approach. You don't mind my asking,
Mm-hmm.
how did you acquire such a article of clothing?
Oh. I've worn this for several years now. Wait, what do you mean by article of clothing? Are you talking about my coat?
I believe that was called on the screen.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's, more of a, you could say it's more of my curse.
I see. I have heard of people being cursed, but never thought to this extent.
Of course, I can't hear them, but it doesn't really matter to me. If I could hear them, I don't care. The screams of all the people that I've killed.
I will walk back to the carriage.
Your friend seems a little tense.
After this, Sakani will come up to Rahada and says, I beg your pardon, good sir. My brother has an inquiry, and he is not one to uselessly speak. He has expressed an interest if it is possible to ride alongside you in the front of the carriage or not.
Persuasion check.
Okay.
Only if you can wield a shotgun while you ride.
Magic. Oh, fuck.
Wait, what?
I completely...
That don't count.
Yeah, it flew out of my hand.
I don't want to be rolled.
That 20!
Thank God.
What's a 4?
John, you're sapping my luck. This is the lucky side of the table.
Wasn't last time.
Assert our dominance.
Rahadin looks, which one was it again?
He gestures to Khufu, who's a bit back. It is that my brother who is quite curious if that is possible or allowed. He is uncomfortable in closed spaces.
I would allow it on the condition that he sit up here and... Actually, you know what? Sure. But apparently you'll have to get used to the sound of screams.
My brother is quite silent normally. If that is the concern, or no?
Him being silent?
He can speak, but he has a particular issue with his voice.
Whether he speaks or not is no concern to me.
He should be able to get accustomed to it well enough.
Well, as I said, whether he speaks or not is of no concern. If he so wishes to not be in such an enclosed space, he's free to even sit on the roof if he wants.
Sakani bows and says, "You have my thanks. I will inform him."
Because he doesn't talk, I'm just gonna imagine the silent one's like off to the side, just T-posing.
He's just sitting.
Animation not found.
Thinking to himself, there's a low range coming up.
Yeah, just dead silence in the driver's seat. Everyone else talking each other's ears off in the back.
No. It's while we're on the ride there until we stopped and everyone got out. It was just we're all just sitting there having talking. Me all in the background. He's just sitting there, T-pose note clipping through, and it's like
Well, actually, your character actually hasn't heard Khufu speak technically.
No, all we hear is just
Oh God.
the sound of his body clipping through the carriage as
Oh
it goes.
God. Oh
You
God.
know, if I were in the other room and heard that, I'd be like, okay, pull your pants up.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Kofu, we talked about this.
Khufu.
I am dog. Anyway, so I guess back into the carriage then, is it?
Once you guys get back, you will notice that Sakani is alone as Khufu climbs onto the driver's box or wherever.
The driver's seat, yeah.
I have my eyes closed. I'm sleeping. I sleep.
Go to bed.
Kofu just has two ropes across side him as he's T-posed on top.
I'll sit just flipping through the.
This is what he
Would you have left out the
I
books?
know, but it's still just
For,
my brain forever imagine him
I'm
just
just flipping through
T-posed.
the organ playing for dummies, and I'm just having a hard time sleeping.
I actually have to Google now because I just made that up, but I would laugh if that's a
There's probably is.
Oh,
There's
I'm
a literal
sure
like
there is.
dummies for everything.
Carlos will see Scratch Paul sleeping and actually take a note of that himself and just
There's a keyboard for dummies.
It's about the same. And I'm just sitting there, just flipping through the cursive. Great module.
It turns out that this is canon in Barovia.
Yeah, the flipping through the tome. Just trying to read as much as I can.
I'm sorry for the random personal laughter, but I just have to say because this just reminded me. The Critical Role cartoon, Legend of Vox Machina, it's on Amazon Prime. The 7th episode, one of the characters has to storm an enemy mansion. Breaks into one room, and there's 3 guards there playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
He opens the door, one guy's rolling a dice, they stop, look. Oh, well, this is awkward.
I'll have to sit and watch that.
I'm just imagining you're sitting there like reading a tome, and you're like speaking like under your breath if you're reading, and just all of a sudden you say a couple like Latin words, and just something horse just appears out of thin air or some shit. Just those are those.
He was like, guess we're gonna go faster.
Yeah, in the
What was that?
It's in the carriage.
I'm trying to take mental notes because I don't have what it takes to write notes. I don't have that kind of gear on me, but I'm just taking mental notes.
Alright, so as
That's what I
this
was
is
looking for.
occurring, Sakani is going to look at is Carlos asleep too?
Gross is trying to nod off.
Oh God.
I'm essentially taking first watch while we're riding in the carriage.
Alright. Alright then. There's really nothing else if everyone's trying to sleep, effectively.
It's been a long day, and it's after midnight.
Fair enough.
It's after midnight. The only upswing we've got is the carriage ride is like rocking us to sleep.
I don't know how y'all can see the I'm literally having a moral conundrum with myself.
Sakani will. Are you saying that out in character?
In character, he's having a moral conundrum.
Yeah, but you didn't say anything?
No, I'm just reading tones. No one's talking.
Are you ever going to get to sleep?
You,
I am going to have to fall asleep.
Yeah, Sakani will speak to Blue and say, "You have been quiet. What concerns you?"
Strahd wasn't always.
No man is ever who they were in the past, that is true. But if we judge every man by who he was before, we will never have any form of rest. Bad men always come from those who believe what they do is good. But, feel sorry for him, but do not let what he was distract you from what he has done.
I will close the book.
A man who is good at his core would never do some of the things I have heard is said that he has done. But if a man has evil somewhere in his heart of hearts, it is easy to go from a good man to a villainous creature.
He's just gonna turn.
Yep, so Sakani will take the first watch.
I mean, it was promised to be a safe trip, so it's
Yeah,
a
basically. He's just
very uneventful trip. You guys getting in a long rest?
Yay, so Kufu's actually back to proper full health.
Yes, I had like at some point, like probably Carlos probably wake up in like 4 hours and like tell you to nod off and he'll watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lois, full rest.
When you wake up, Sakani's just kind of sitting there, kind of like muttering something in an unknown tongue to you. Yeah.
So it's not an infernal or abyssal.
No, it is in Kenra.
Yeah.
As he
I'm
says,
going to
I
take this opportunity
took
to
a
switch a couple of
minor
my
in
skills.
college.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for the long
I
rest.
beg pardon
Alright.
if I woke you.
That is fine.
Merely a prayer for my
Terry.
goddess.
You wanna know my Terry? You wanna know my favorite thing about your shirt right now? With the headphones hanging down, your skull has eyes.
Oh my god!
True.
Instantly better.
There's Charlotte Warren.
Okay, on an unrelated note, I want to. I used whenever I was in high school and stuff. I couldn't really have these open. They didn't really hate that I always had them open. My school didn't mind that as much, but it's still sometimes the prom teachers tell me like tuck them into my shirt or whatnot. There's one problem with doing that. So tell me, they don't look that bad. But tell me what this looks like.
Terry is very perky right now.
Yeah. Look, I thought my shirts fit a little tighter than this one. This is one of my baggier ones. Yeah, no, I had a couple times people be like, "Are your nipples pierced?" No, it's the headphones. They're just conveniently lined up.
Anyhow, morning quickly comes. Carriage ride's still going on.
Yep.
Yep, we rotate
So-
shifts.
Once everyone's up, Sakani will pose a question to everyone.
Probably for this much no ration.
Oh, God. We have all come from different lands, and we've discussed a little of where we are from and perhaps what they are like. But I feel as if it may be a fair exercise to be more open to and to explain some things of ourselves. That way, as a cohesive unit, we are able to fight better as one.
You mean like a sharing circle?
Perhaps I'm not accustomed to it, but what the term, but perhaps to explain perhaps a little of ourselves, to explain some peculiarities of our customs and ways for everyone, because it sounds as though we are quite a different set of circumstances each.
Just kind of look into the group here.
Nothing too eventful to say. Grandson to a drunk of a man. Son to an angry man. And since I was about 14 of age, been hunting vampires. Worked as a mercenary for a bit.
Your father had no concern with that?
Father was dead by then. Killed by a vampire.
I see.
Makes sense. These Mark mutters.
Yeah, he was investigating for a friend and with an ambush was set up. I found the son of a bitch though.
You have my condolences. Hope perhaps he has a restful afterlife.
I hope so too. The Lord knew that his life was far from merciful at times. Past that, not much to say. Work that must just take on bounties for vampires until all this happened. I know I want Strahd's head mounted.
Carlos would say that in a much lower tone. I do not know if it is possible, but if it is worth anything, you have my blade in that endeavor. I feel that there are times where vengeance is just.
Vengeance is just. Just believe me when I also say, don't let it consume everything you see.
Not. I would say the same for you in a way that you must be careful that when you are not directly, that you are less serious when there is little need for it.
Last time I didn't take an engagement with a vampire seriously. It ended up with bodies on my head.
But it does not mean that will always be the case. One failure need not color your whole experience in life.
Believe me, it was more than one failure.
The masculine urge to steal.
I'm a fellow rogue. What the fuck?
Trying not to steal. I had a cursed idea to just use mage hand and see what they have in their pockets.
All I can think right now is just that fucking meme. I think I'm about to steal!
Want to try and raid my pockets? Go right ahead.
I'm not paying attention to your conversation. I'm just trying to not think about what's in your pockets.
I mean, Carlos has done, pretty Gross has said he only got like 7 copper in his wallet right now.
You can see a signet ring on my finger.
Plus, you're in pretty enclosed space. People, you try to mage hand, people are going to see it. If not see that, they're going to see what you pilfer.
And
Bad
then,
habits die hard.
and then you look even worse, because not only now, at that point, have you fled from a fight and an engagement, apparently twice, now you're trying to rob us!
Scratch Paws would tell you not to be so naive.
Here's the problem, though. Yeah, we're not going to be so naive. Now it's time to break legs.
No, Scratch Paws cast mage hand to steal whatever's in the nearest pocket, and he pulls out your Mariska doll.
Oh, God.
I would think you guys would be grateful I didn't leave you to your own devices and keep all the info for myself.
I'll wait for you to say, I thought you'd be grateful that I'm taking this off your hands.
What of you, little
Anyway.
creature? What of you? Anything particular you'd like to explain, discuss? I've never seen your kind before. Or if I have, they have not shown themselves so clearly.
Is there like a mirror or reflective surface in the carriage?
If you could try to get reflection out of the glass windows.
Just kind of looking at his father Rockwell forms, like just trying to do right by the father.
The father, some god or actual father?
He was my teacher. Yeah, this is just a persona I take on. It's not. It's to honor him. He's a good man.
He is still living?
No.
I see. If it is not too difficult, what happened?
He died of old age.
Which is good.
Yeah, he lived a good life.
It is rare for old men to die in their beds.
The community felt it a little more than he did. So me and my brothers and sisters, we all agreed to take on the form and spread his goodwill the best way we could.
How many siblings do you have?
9, not counting me.
He leans back, surprised, saying, I could not imagine having any more siblings than Khufu.
Mom had a lot of love to give.
Irina speaks up, yeah, me and Ismark are adopted brothers and sisters. We get in each other's nerves all the time.
Well,
We just don't show it.
we don't see each other much. We separated after Dad bounced. That's not really something we should be worrying about right now.
No, but it's nice to at least maybe get our minds off of things.
Be open with ourselves and
I bring back the puppet.
others.
You broke my finger last time.
Sorry. Well, can you blame me?
In Strahd's voice.
Please don't do that.
I'm gonna try and get her to laugh and go, oh, no, on her hand. Oh, no.
She actually does give a very slight chuckle.
There we go.
I'm surprised.
But it's more of, what the hell are you doing than any actual amusement?
Not as scary as it.
So,
Back.
as that's going on, Sakani's gonna draw his kapesh and take out a rag and just clean the blade as he says, "You are all peculiar sorts, and frankly, it will be interesting to see what comes of this with all of you."
I will transform into you. Agree.
And since two of you have been open, perhaps I should be just as open, if not more so, to answer any questions you may have. I suspect you may have many.
What's the pharaoh like?
Depends on the context. Are you asking officially or in a personal sense?
You said that you guys were guards, weren't you?
Yes, we are his royal guards, but at the same time, we are more than just guards. My brother and I, we were born a few moons turned before he was. We were chosen after his birth to be his assigned guards for his whole life. We were raised alongside him, trained with him, spent much of our lives with him. It's hard to see a man you have known. It's hard to view a man like that when you have grown with them with anything other than some degree of affection. I've drank his wine, sat in his finest chairs, consoled his first broken heart.
So you'd be one part guard, one part. This is talking. One part guard, one part retainer.
Friend, advisor, someone he can be true with. Rulers can never truly be themselves when other people, because they must always have a persona on. When you know your guard as well as you know yourself, you can be open with them.
I'm just gonna look at Scratch.
I'm just pondering. I'm just looking out the window, thinking about all that has been said.
I will transform into Scratch. Enable the thoughts.
Well, I think it is interesting. The land from which you come from. Very interesting. Would not have expected that.
It's a land of desert, of sand and little water. We are a interesting people.
Sounds considerable. No offense.
None taken, it is not for everyone. But you should see our cities. They are magnificent.
Probably better than anywhere this place is, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
If I were artistic, I would draw for you, but
I'm sorry, you would what?
artistic.
No.
Artistic
You said you would what now?
would draw as something for you.
Oh. Not gonna lie, I thought you said if I were more artistic, I would brothel for you.
What the fuck? God, no!
I'm sorry, the accent made me think, wait, what?
Well,
Hold on.
that's one way to paint a picture.
I'm gonna chat. I'd like to chat with Scratch Paws real
Crap. Wait a minute.
near me.
I think it's by your foot.
I seize it. I have it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna chat with Scratch Paws. Your book on organs. I think we can do something with that.
What did you have in mind?
Well, given the gift of my clerically domain, for at least 10 minutes a day, I can have I can have mastery and skill, if only for a short while. I just gotta pray on it for a little bit before I do.
See that again?
Out of character, it's channel divinity. It's a blessing of knowledges, or knowledge of the ages. You can use your channel divinity to tap into a divine will of knowledge. As an action, you choose one skill or tool. For 10 minutes, you have proficiency with the chosen skill or tool.
And they use divine intervention to make him an immediate master.
Depending on the context, we could definitely take that to our advantage.
I mean, it would be enough of a distraction to play for Strahd while you slip away.
He just nods his head in thought. He likes this. He likes it.
I mean, does anybody here know how to play an organ? Do I even know what an organ is?
My
Of course I would.
brother
I know
and I have some music. My brother has some musical skill. I do not.
Arena raises her hand. I sometimes mess around on a piano, but I'm not very good.
Any tips?
Don't just mash the keys. It'll sound like shit.
Unfortunately, my brother's area of musical talent is with the lyre.
That's like a guitar sort of thing. This is Ismark talking. Like a guitar sort of thing.
No, it is
It's like a harp.
more akin to what you would call a harp.
Oh.
Though smaller and something you can carry around.
Oh. Oh, I was thinking lute.
Yeah, like
So, is that going to be the plan then? Is this our course of action?
this is the lyre.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, are we going to separate into hosting group, search group?
Well, if we are to narrow it down as such, I would consider myself and Carlos a part of the search group. But there are many things that we do not know, including myself. It will depend on the context, but I trust you will know what to do when the time is right.
Understood. If things get dicey, run like hell.
I say nothing.
If things get dicey, it is best for all of us to, as you say, run like hell. Because if one of us gets caught doing something we are not, he will likely take it out on all of us.
Father wouldn't let innocent people get hurt. Neither will I.
He does have a point. Points to you. Ismark does. You've seen this in the past where one person angers him and he takes it out on the entire village. There were some merchants about 5 years ago who it's been a few years, so memory's a little fuzzy. He had requested them to bring him some wine. And they brought him not the good quality that he was hoping for. So he slaughtered the entire merchant camp. Because one person, from what I understand, now again, it's been a few years, so memory's going to be a little fuzzy on the details. But one person thought a monster like him, their words, not mine. Okay, yeah, my words too. A monster like him doesn't require the good stuff. Doesn't need to have the good stuff. So they swapped it out for the less than good stuff. By the end of the day, they were all dead.
Over wine?
Over wine.
A fine vintage is worth its weight, more than its weight in gold. But I can understand it to a degree. Not
Moral
the
is-
extent.
moral-
It's wine.
What I'm trying to get across here is if one person slights him, it's not unusual for him to take it out on everybody associated with them.
I just look at Carlos and scratch paws. Don't get caught. Please.
Hear that, Carlos?
It would be like if you were to be stung by an insect, and rather than simply crush the one insect involved, you destroy its hive.
A wolf eats a chicken. You kill all the wolves.
So no, I'm getting the, and I'm shrinking back down, like starting to panic again a little bit. So, no, I got the analogies. I got that.
Does anybody know the calm emotion spell?
No.
So what?
Calm emotions.
It's in my list.
God, the one person who needs it.
So cast it on yourself.
No, I don't have it right now. I don't have it prepared. I have more useful things prepared just in case. Actually, I don't know. It's too late.
Too late.
Yeah, too late.
Be calm. We will be in and out of there as soon as we can be, and hopefully we are in and out with more information than we had going in.
I'm going to look to you three because Khufu's on the roof.
Cooper is probably sitting out on the box.
I'm gonna hold my hand out as like, let us pray.
Sakani will shrug. Your gods are not my own, but I will accept your custom.
Same as well.
Alright, I will cast aid on you three at third level. So you get
We
you
get
get some goodies.
an extra
That's-
millimeter for a 2 millimeter defeater.
Jeez.
You get this dick.
So 1 millimeter defeater.
Oh,
That's what.
you guys get 10 temporary hit points for the rest of the day.
Nice.
Watch it, I lose it in 5 seconds flat.
At least, actually, it's a good thing I wasn't blessed because blessed only lasts for what, a minute?
A minute, yeah. I can hit more targets that way, but it only lasts a minute. But aid, just a wee bit better.
It is not your custom to do so, but I will warn you all, once we leave this carriage for his castle, consider yourselves dead. That way, whatever happens, you do not have to worry about what will come afterwards, for you will already be dead.
Turn into the sheep that's half elf. I don't want to die.
I have an interesting outlook, but I can't say I disagree with it.
It is how I was trained. If you go into battle thinking yourself already dead, the only thing to look you after the battle, if you survive, then you regain your life. You fight with all the ferocity of a doomed man.
We're not fighting, we're going to dinner.
Like that. I don't know this favor will be a fight for our lives, depending on how the night goes.
A battle can be more than just swords on a battlefield.
Back to Rockwell.
In my experience, I've always been trained to think more along the lines of think of what you cherish and think of what you will return to. Then, when needed, you'll be able to fight twice as hard to make sure you make it home.
It is interesting. I would look forward to see which of our ideologies are stronger. Fight going into battle already dead to regain your life, or to hold on to what you cherish most.
Indeed, that'd be interesting.
I'm not saying
Carriage stops again and let you guys out to, drain the bladders.
Yeah.
I did you proud, Marcus. I have my laundry list of everything. I did you proud.
how. I don't get it.
Because you were saying, you said the first session there, that this was the character where you were tracking everything you had. I literally went through all my packs that I've got and threw everything onto the list. So I now have a detailed list of everything.
You should see how I can fit all that onto a little equipment box.
Did I do this though? Because here's the thing. Eventually with me erasing and removing stuff, it just becomes a smudge, smudge. While on this thing, if it becomes too smudgy, I'll just rip the page out and write on the next page.
Clearly, your handwriting is good.
Clearly my handwriting is terrible. Yes, I know. It is.
I will go and go pee.
As will Sakani, who will stretch his legs.
Which how do you guys feel like taking a break in real life and using the bathroom?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I decided. Okay, no need then. Alright, so you guys finish up with that. Then what?
I pissed. Again.
Oh, shit.
Do I have to get out the video of the frying chicken again?
No!
Oh, God, no! I mean, if that's what my shit sounds like, then I probably need I need another cleric.
No, you don't need a cleric. You need a proper priest for a funeral.
I need an exorcist.
That's on my list too.
Somebody get this man some Pepto-Bismol.
So someone get this.
We got
man,
trains. Surely we got Pepto.
Someone get this man the medieval equivalent to a fucking Imodium tablet. You take for diarrhea. Imodium or shit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay as stalwart as possible, trying to think brave thoughts.
Bark's a little too hard.
Like, pull the carriage over now.
Okay, brave thoughts. Brave thoughts. You're at night. It's a dragon. Wait, no, that's not a brave thought because I'm running away from the dragon.
No, it's Bard.
Brave thoughts.
Brave thought.
You're a knight. You're about to fuck a princess. Nope, that's even worse. I'm running I can't perform.
No, it's Bard.
Breath up. Think of the dragon. Fuck, now I'm horny.
Now I got this choke. What do I do with it?
Fuck!
Hey, Rahan, pull over. I need to go behind the tree again. You just peed. It's for something else.
Yeah. Mage hand.
Stranger danger.
Stranger in the woods.
God. Oh God.
Anyway,
Marcus, have you thought about using your mage hand for such purposes?
Not once.
he's thought about using his mage hand to give him scritches.
Oh my... No? Oh my god, I just realized something. Mage hand would actually be the best spell ever. Know why? Do you know how normally you like that itch on your back and you can't quite get to it, your arms aren't quite like long enough to get back there?
Mage hand.
Mage hand just...
Why do you think I learned that?
Anyway, back in the carriage, I guess. It's around midday at this point. You got maybe another 6 or 7 hours.
Jesus. Carlos will offer rations for a meal.
Sakani has his own.
I take.
Which, Sakani's rations are very much closer to jerky than anything.
That's the thing. That's what Carlos is. You open up the Carlos ration and it's literally just salted, dried out meat jerky, some hardtack.
No, not even like very little hardtack. There's like dried. There's like
No, it's polar opposite. It's like a slab of hardtack and a little strip of jerky.
I feel like Blue would be a trail mix guy.
There is no trail mix.
he'd probably like stale flatbread.
Ooh.
It's bread. It's all. But oh, you guys actually get to see Sakani eat with that snapping dog like how dogs eat.
Yeah, they don't eat, they inhale.
You can't exactly carefully chew with sharp teeth.
So what's happening? I'm still would be fidgeting and
We wait for the. That's all I can say.
There's nothing else we can do at this point except wait for tonight.
Wait for the night, become accustomed with each other, and
Out of character, I'm brainstorming as much as I can. What a day to be tired.
what? Sorry.
Usually, I'm the guy with ideas.
So.
But even I'm still.
in that encounter with the vampiric creatures, I have noticed a few things I wish to inquire about. For a creature of faith, you are rather front and center, Father.
That's what the father would do.
But I worry you are not properly equipped for frontline endeavors.
I bang on my half plate. I'm a lot tougher than I look.
Perhaps. I maybe worry
I'll
that...
transform into an orc. Right wall of stone I am.
Like a 40k orc.
Just be careful with whatever may happen. You are quite essential for ensuring the rest of us survive.
Well, we're just going to dinner.
We're not, in general, not just for what is to come. As he certainly looks on Scratch Paws. As for you, I noted you ran quickly in that fight. Why?
It is not the first time
Do not be so naive. If I wanted to leave you, I could have done so.
I will not argue against that, but when the front line falls and the back line is having to fight front lines, seeing your front line run does not inspire confidence.
I am made to fight behind the enemy lines.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. We put a lot of arrows in a lot of faces.
That I am made to fight behind the friendly lines, or at least at a range that is advantageous. Yet, the moment they came forward to me, I stood my ground and drew my sword.
We all come from different places. That is just the way I fight.
Perhaps, but it is your way. But just be mindful that should the situation turn against us and your allies fail, sometimes an extra blade on the front makes the difference rather than arrows from the rear.
Of course.
Hector, how should we serve? Because I was not there for session. how are we ruling the Carlos involvement in that? Are we just saying I did things in background and shot
We'll
arrows.
just say you were there.
I thought I was there shooting arrows. That's pretty much what I've just been doing. Kind of just
Yeah, since I didn't have your character sheet, I couldn't do anything with it.
yeah.
So
Like I say, pretty much all I would have done was just stay behind friendly lines, ping arrows, and
Protect
if that the other. I pretty much try to just like keep distance, hit high value targets.
yeah,
and
we'll just say that.
if front line collapses, that's when I basically get sword out and start stabbing.
Yeah, sounds
Scratch
alright.
Boss is only trying to appease you. He has no intentions of frontline. Out of character.
Yeah.
Out of character, I have no problem with the way you conduct your character. In character, Carlos is not too keen when he it is suddenly no longer the back line.
Yeah, same. Like, Sakani's point of view is, as he said, like, sometimes when the situation gets tough, having an extra blade on the front can make the difference rather than arrows from the rear.
It also doesn't help that I am a proper range build. I've got majority of my damage is stacked into Corpse Slayer, my crossbow. So having to go to rapier guts me a little bit.
Well, as far as Scratch Boss is concerned, it goes in one ear, right out the other. He does things.
That's chaotic neutral for you.
My blade will go in your one ear and come out your other, cat!
Yeah, we'll just pass through.
It'll
Nothing in there.
It'll go in one ear and out the other until you're at a point where you're dropping and everyone else casts a flee.
You might catch a gold piece.
Huh?
You might catch a gold piece with that sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. So I think I'll do
Slick. He ain't slick, he got something to say.
Like, what's the plan with Irina? I mean,
Are you
Strahd
in
wanted
or
her
out of character?
in character. Like Strahd wanted her specifically. What's gonna happen?
My brother and I can stand nearby as guard if in case he tries anything.
Probably
He's been after me for a while. Went back home in Barovia village. He was always hounding around the place like a dog in season. That's what ended up killing our dad. He just couldn't handle the stress of it anymore. Not to mention, of course, this.
He nods as he says, I noted a change in terminology. I am not offended if you use the term bitch. My mother was a proper bitch.
Well, this guy's the son of a bitch.
I know you're mentioning Strahd, but you're mentioning me.
Yeah, I'm just going with the fact like female Kenra are just called bitches. In terms of like the female dog.
Damn.
Carlos looks it up.
I'll turn into a drunk
I
girl.
believe you once referred to as a pussy.
Oh God.
What are you doing?
Let me cope.
Oh, sorry. Sound like Krell in there.
Let me cope. Structo disc.
Oh my God.
Out of character, I wish Carlos knew how much of a disservice he does to Rogue by letting his emotions get to him. I think it's funny.
Sorry, I'm being more than just edge.
I'm not. I'm greed.
Sorry.
I'm literally greed embodied.
So, okay, Rogue's literally become one of two. Kleptomaniac or Sweet Edge. And I'm sorry, I'm saying fuck that stereotype. Actually, I am partially Edge because I must atone for my sin.
I think those two stereotypes are very apparent in this room. I'm the kleptomaniac. You're the edge.
I am a bit of Edge. I will admit I'm kind of redemption bound. Also,
I'm guessing I'm gonna have to be the father figure for the
son,
party.
son, stop grabbing everything from the elbow down. Other son, stop trying to cut your wrist.
Third son, quit crying in the corner.
I'm sorry, see what's like it's going. I'm just Sakai's just sitting there, but I swear, like after a while, Sakai will just rent a room, get a couple chairs, just sit down with it, and on the other side of a desk, and just say, "So, tell me about your feelings."
What son that I forgot about? Do something, anything.
Anyway.
You mentioned Dragon Ball Z, and my brain immediately went to, we find Strahd's treasure place. We find a secret chest. We open it, add a button, we press it, a false wall disappears, and we see on a pedestal a lone hat.
That's
the
why you went
legendary
and grabbed it.
trucker hat.
No. False wall falls away. there's a single muffin.
Actually, muffin sounds good, but- Besides one.
Where did you get that muffin button? Anyway, yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
Somebody eat me, I want to die.
Look, don't have to.
Sakani,
Trucker.
how's Kufu doing?
He is doing well. He is finding Rahad in a rather interesting sort to be around.
Outside, all he hears is. He's just sitting there. I regret this.
No, he's just sitting there, just looking at the guy, just like,
I imagine
It just keeps going.
I'm imagining
half tempted for Khufu to just just like randomly message Rahad and just for like casual
I was half
conversation.
expecting you to say, poke his head out the window and take a look.
How could yeah, like that's probably like what they talked about during the like when they were walking, basically.
By the time they get there, they're just high fiving, fist bumping.
No,
They're just best friends.
it's just how's Kufu doing? Camera snaps over to the front of the carriage and Kufu's just laying back, tree branch knocked and clean 2 miles back.
No,
That's fine. He's taking that nap.
no, I'd like to wonder. I'm curious what the fuck would happen if Khufu were to like message Rahad for like conversational purposes.
Just
No, but that's actually a good point. You do hear a message from him in your head. You know, I'm used to the sound of screaming and all, but this is wow.
Khufu?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Even he's like, wow.
There's a lot of dead people behind this guy.
no, it's not screaming. All you're hearing is just
That'll be during the fight, if there is one.
the screaming. Oh my God! When he first got the curse, that's what he heard, and then the entire floor part is just the screaming for long. That's all. That's all you hear.
No, he never hears it. It's just a case of like he gets the curse for the first time, walks into town. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Anyway, at this point, the carriage is kind of turned down the trail a way, so that way when you guys look out, you can see, like, on the top of the hill, the very tip top of a tower, like a castle tower poking up over the tree line.
Lightning. The goblin on top. Bats flying around and everything.
No, it's just there, like, as a presence, and as the trees clear, as you pass the grove of forest, it becomes much more clear.
Suddenly, you see an eldritch god just appear over the castle.
I will take this time to dress in my finest clothes, put on my signet ring, and re-don my armor.
All while we're starting into a carriage.
So There's still a few hours away, by the way.
They're just
I'm just kidding.
in like meanwhile, Sakani and Khufu are in their finest gear, their armor.
Yes, I'm not thinking about that. Excuse me.
They left their royal bodyguard regalia at home.
Luca says, okay, everybody, if you don't want to see anything weird, close your eyes. Open them when I tell you.
No, at that point, I'm just so like in panic. I was like, I got to be doing something.
Everyone starts closing their eyes except for Carlos.
Like, what does changeling dick look
Everyone's like closing
Whatever
their
I
eyes.
want it to be.
Oh God, no! Just some random night we're all drunk. What's everyone's dicks look like?
Whatever I want it to be.
Sakani, literal dog dick.
Let's not.
Alright, I'm sorry, I had to derail a little bit.
I'm gouging my ears out now. Goodbye.
But yeah, I'm officially in my Sunday best.
Yeah, but Carlos is now seeing his Sunday worst.
Yeah. Sakani will just like polish like the metal and gems on his armor and his sword.
Carlos will take like a speck of dirt off his uniform. That's the best he gets. Carlos is not changing to the common clothes. He wears his leather armor.
Scratch Paws, do you have a Sunday best?
Shut up, Dominic.
Out of character.
I have traveled.
Fancy.
Good luck with that.
How does armor work without
Good
armor?
luck with that here.
Well, how does your AC work without armor again?
I think it's a base of 10.
Yeah.
10 plus. It's 10 plus your dex.
Oh, okay, then. I don't want to be one below.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shiz. I literally would just drop 1 AC to drop my armor. What the fuck?
Oh, what's your
Thanks.
armor now?
Because
What?
leather's like is an 11 plus your dex. It adds 1 to your
Yeah.
calculation.
I'll tell you what, Scratch Paws. Like, can I see your finger? And I'm gonna take off my signet ring and put it on your finger. Does it fit? It's a handsome ring. Don't you think?
I do.
Dude, gotta have a curse.
Tell you what, since you need a little bit of flair, like if you just give me a little bit of gold for that ring, I'll give it to you.
I will give you the gold anyway, but I will not dress up for this. I would do it if they had not known my appearance already.
Fair enough.
You need
Yeah. Also, Sakani's polishing his earrings. He has them.
Mid conversation, I just do this and I prestidigitate all the dirt, blood, sweat off me, whatever. I look clean as ever.
I'm just sitting there. I'll be honest with you. I'm just fucking with this. And I'm gonna whisper in your ear.
Very
And I respect the game.
It just had a bro moment.
Uno bromo.
That's fine.
Carlos is over here chugging his cactus juice.
Cement?
No.
That would be funny though if you go into the
That's
castle
fun.
all hopped up on cactus juice.
There it is.
It'll quench ya. Yeah, last campaign I think you might have been told this. Cactus juice was a thing.
Yeah. No. It wasn't just cactus juice. Get it right. It was cactus cocaine. I crossed cocaine with cactus juice.
God.
And I damn near gave Carlos Sr. a fucking heart attack in the Actually, I did give him a heart attack in the process. He damn near died from it.
Was this the green cocaine after you burned down half the
That
jungle?
was the green cocaine. Yeah, literally, the mage found me. So I was like, I can't move, and then suddenly just flatline.
Okay.
With you drunken monk motherfucker, stay alive!
So the carriage stops one more time to let you guys out to stretch and relieve yourselves. You've got maybe, you estimate, because you, like I said, you can see it now, probably about another 3-hour trip. You have 3 hours for the trip.
Is there like a stream nearby?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a small stream.
Okay, so Sakani and Kufu will splash some of the water on them to get it somewhat clean up.
I'm having a newfound courage in my Sunday best. I will go up to Rahad.
Hello.
Do I look presentable? I'm still wearing all my armor.
Presentable enough.
Presentable enough. I can throw the cape over my shoulder. Give it. Is the screaming getting to me now?
Depends. How far away are you?
I'd say about 10 feet.
Then, no, it's not. I mean, you can faintly hear it. It's not as loud and cacophonous. Now, if you were to take like another step or two forward, then yeah, but as you are now, no.
Okay.
Well, Carlos will duck over into behind a couple of trees, and he will change out of his armor to common clothing, which is basically just instead of full black leathered armor, it's just a black shirt and some probably brown pants or dark colored pants.
God.
Just dark.
Pair of Converse with My Chemical Romance t-shirt.
That's what I was thinking. Kind of slicks his hair over Green Day style.
No, well, he wears dark clothing because I am rogue.
Oh wait,
I
no,
must
Green
be
Day doesn't slick their hair.
I wear dark clothing 24/7.
I'm still keeping my armor on, so if he hasn't said anything. It's just like
Sakani and Kufu's best is their armor.
Carlos is going to make one attempt at a stupid idea. He is going to move it in a holy water flask since he has a backpack. He's going to move that into his a pocket or a satchel or something on his belt to try to hide it there. Holy water, just in case. Because not great in a fight, but
Everyone's changing clothes. Meanwhile, Sakani and Kufu are taking a bit of a bath in a river.
I'm sitting in the carriage. I'm not even getting out.
Alright, I'll jump back in with you then.
Once that's done, they will both go into the... Actually, no, Kufu will remain outside. Sakani will go into the carriage.
If after he's done changing, Carlos will hop in as well.
There's the slightest scent of wet dog in the air.
Everyone make a Constitution saving throw.
Slightest. It's more like damp dog.
Dog.
That's for fun.
To Connie, not because he's the wet dog.
Yeah, except for you. You
Yeah.
can't smell it.
15.
Modified 20.
For Carlos.
Uh-oh. That's an 11, sir.
It's all good. The smell isn't that strong.
You smell clean.
I did one with you.
I don't even want to imagine what Jackal would smell like wet carcass.
Does prestidigitate do anything for smell?
Well, you can remove all the moisture out of their fur, which would get rid of the smell. So,
I'll just look away with an almost half disgusted face and just go, fuck it. Prestidigitate the moisture out.
throw that on the Carlos.
Just
Do you
hear a
mind?
slight,
He
almost like scuffling.
mutters something in Kenra.
I will go to Irina. Like, do I look okay?
Yeah, you look fine.
You look nice too.
Thanks.
Just trying to break the tension. Let me go.
No, it's fine. We can use a little tension breaking because we're almost there.
Yeah. So do we need to practice our breathing? Do we need to do anything before we
What do
get
you-
there?
You spend most of your time with your
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. I'm sorry, the word was lost on me.
It's quite alright. It is.
What's the general etiquette for greeting someone in a position of power like a king?
It would depend on whether you are addressing a high noble like a king or pharaoh or a lower noble like a duke or baron.
Well, he's technically, I guess you would consider the king. He's more of the lord, count, baron sort of thing of this whole region.
Then a bow of some sort is appropriate, as would be your grace. It's mostly the general term, what you would go for. Beyond that, just be polite and formal as best you can. There's not much to it beyond the overall fear of meeting someone of high nobility.
Especially somebody like him who's kept us all in quite the dour mood for the last 400 years.
It all just boils down to bow, be polite, be formal, and whenever you are speaking to him, say, Your Grace.
So, polar opposite of what Carlos is about to do. He's gonna walk up. I'm here to kill you, motherfucker.
Oh,
So
Very short-lived Carlos.
you weren't there when Marcus, who played the other cleric? What was his name again?
Brick.
Yeah, Brick. You weren't there. You weren't there when they went to the hag's windmill with Brick, who walked up to the main hag and said, "I have a request for you. Die."
Literally, word for word.
That is honestly though.
that's gangster.
That's gangsta.
He almost killed us all.
It almost resulted in them dying, which resulted in him burning down the windmill.
Regardless of the outcome, you gotta admit though, gangsta.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the line.
I think this might be the shortest lived Carlos I've ever played with.
Damn.
Look, man,
He's
from
only
what
turned
I've
over.
gathered from this campaign, it is no joke. You will die. If you are not careful, you will die,
Yep.
Carlos.
You will. You will. I've heard stories of less experienced and stupider groups turning this into a Session 1 TPK meat grinder. If we had started with the Death House, probably.
Death House is Death House for a fucking reason.
And it's supposed to start you at level 1.
Yeah, I kind of half played it with another character, and they were a white.
You know, I've come into this campaign full well and ready for Carlos III to bite the bullet.
I don't want to Kanye or Cooper to bite, but
I mean, I wouldn't say this is much meat grinder as say Tomb of Annihilation, but still.
If I really wanted to
Tomb of
put somebody
Annihilation.
over, I could really
Starting
make
out,
somebody
you could
dirty.
be several
Especially in the final
T-Rexes.
dungeon.
With
Anyway.
prestidigitation, I can also make somebody dirty if I really wanted to.
Oh, that'd be not. That's
I'm
not.
waiting to-
That's just.
I'm waiting to find a
Okay.
statue or a
Put the dirt
shrine
back
to like
on you,
knock
so you
over
can
and break
remove it,
apart
and
and
more
some
so.
demon.
No, not here. Anyway,
Make you shit yourself.
Oh my god, I could.
anyway, as Toby here ponders his Chaos Emerald,
But he ponders his work.
it's back into the carriage and back on the trail. You got just a few short hours left. Outside of changing to your Sunday best and figuring out what etiquette to do, is there anything left that you guys want to do before you arrive at the castle gates?
I'm keeping my normal leather armor on. I'm thinking of practicality's sake.
Let's go over the plan one more time. Then. You two are going to try and slip away. I'm going to distract Strahd with organ playing. You guys are going to protect Irina.
As best as we can, and we shall work to provide all additional distraction as needed.
Fair.
If the organ playing does not prove to be enough, I could certainly distract him with discussion over tactics and strategy.
We would seize the opportunity when we see it.
Do you, or perhaps Khufu, have a way to reach out to us through a way to telepathy of some sort to reach out and say to us in case?
My
I'll
brother
find Prince.
has my brother has a small spell of limited range to communicate if he can see you or know where you are within a certain distance, aka message.
Right when we're going to be wandering around, I doubt I'll be able to keep.
You're not quite at level to learn sending yet, are you?
Unless you have a magic spell,
Sending's a third level spell, I
magic
think.
spell or
I
magic item.
third. I just didn't know about it beforehand.
My thing of the way for us. That way, if you guys break into a full fight and need backup, we need nice to have a way for the two of us to kind of get.
Yeah,
Black
Kufu
out.
has message.
But realistically, me and you kind of have to go into this ready that if we get found out and we get murdered, we can't really let the rest of the party know because that'll
Yeah, no,
compromise
it's on
them.
my
and
list.
lead
I
them
just
to
didn't know
death.
about it beforehand.
If we
Yeah,
find
so
the meat
you're right.
grinder,
Yeah,
we're going
I
to
know
be
the
ready to
cleric
bite
can
the
use
bullet
sending.
and
I
fall into it.
Critical Role campaign 2,
And not
if you've
get
never
them
seen it.
involved
Yeah.
if we
Just
can.
think of Jester and every sending with booping.
Yeah, if I would have known about it a day ahead of time, I probably could have done something.
There's always next time.
Chaos control!
Fun fact, it's canon that Shadow's favorite anime is Kill la Kill.
Concern. It should be safe to presume if we do not hear anything from you and we are leaving, you are dead.
Yes, most likely.
Although it should also be safe to assume if you two are missing and he notices, we will not be leaving.
If me and Scratchballs find ourselves in a precarious situation, there's always that small chance that the rest of you can leave without us. If we involve you, though, then I'll directly compromise and guarantee that a fight will ensue for you. So if we get into a fight, me and Scratchballs are on our own. If you guys get
If
into a
a
fight,
fight breaks out for you two, break contact, find somewhere to hide.
most likely, it'd be probably the best route given both of our skill sets. And if you guys get into a fight, if you have any means to get a hold, try to reach out and get a hold of us, so we can try and fall back to your position and
Khufu will yell if need be.
yeah,
He looks at the rest of you. You have heard my brother's voice when he casts spells. It is very much like that when he speaks normally.
Oh,
that's why it's so quiet. That explains then.
His voice is booming.
Yeah. Great.
People have referred to it as that's like a titan.
Good stories.
The most obvious way to call for help. Booming titan yelling. Hey, you guys!
Irina speaks up. Yeah, we heard him during the fight with those vampire bastards in back in town. I'm pretty sure they heard him all the way in Berez.
Marcus, he goes to yell to the divine. Boom. It is a product of his magical gifts.
Before we get there, I'm going to drink one of my potions of invulnerability. About maybe a minute or two before we go in.
Well, you might as well do it now because you're pulling up to the castle gate.
I will drink one of my potions of invulnerability.
And
So as you're downing it, Sakani will nod and say, "Good, something to fortify the nerves."
No, it wasn't my nerves. I was fortified.
yeah, it's about 6:30, somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30 at this point, and it's starting to rain.
Bleak weather. I appreciate another bleak day.
It's a little foggy. There are some flashes of lightning in the clouds. And on each side of like the gate, you can see like little torches burning. Yeah. And waiting there, I gotta find a picture of him. Hang on. Is there's someone waiting there. A tall man in kind of like a purple dress robes, long, dirty blonde hair, just waiting there. Waves the carriage down. Well, you don't see it. You're inside, but you do feel the carriage come to a stop. Khufu sees it.
Right here.
Door opens, and you're met by a tall man, long, shoulder length, dirty blonde hair, light brown, in purple robes. Opens the door. Greetings. Welcome to Castle Ravenloft. My master Strahd bids you all welcome. Please step out. Your legs must be sore from sitting for so long.
Sakani will climb out, give him a courteous bow, and say, "Thank you. Your name, sir?"
My name is Escher.
Pleased to meet
Pleasure.
your acquaintance, Esha. I am Sakani. And he gestures to Khufu getting off the box. And that is my brother, Khufu.
Can't speak for himself.
His speaking voice has been described as overly loud.
Ah, I see.
I step out and I thank him.
And your name?
My name is Scratchballs.
Your name, sir?
You may call me Father Rockwell.
Scratchballs, Father Rockwell, Sakani of Khufu, and
Carlos Bass the
Mr. Bass. Again, my master bids you all welcome to Castle Ravenloft. I hope your trip was safe, as my master had promised.
Indeed.
Uneventful, thank you for me.
Well, there are a few things that we must go over before we head inside. First, you are expected, as you are well aware. Second, you will not simply be dining with the master. I will be there, as will Rahadin. Rahadin gives a little nod, as will the brides.
Right.
Yes, there are. Yes, all three of them. I need to open. Ludmilla, Valenta, and Anastasia.
Carlos just thinks to the back of the head, and Dad could barely keep a hold of the one he had.
Sakani's thinking like, "Oh, I didn't know a harem was
Wow, this guy gets around.
Sakani's just like, a harem. My pharaoh has one.
They call him the Wanderer.
Although 3 is a
the
rather
Wanderer.
small harem. His Majesty has at least 13 concubines.
Another thing that we must go over is
Fortnite.
another thing to go over.
Fortnite?
Another thing to discuss, or rather to mention. My master has forbidden all weapons. So you will have to leave your weapons here. In case a small room where you can see inside are racks and racks of weapons. Place your weapons wherever, and just simply remember them on the way out.
Sakani would nod and thank him as he goes to the room and stores his 2 hand axes, his kapesh, his longbow, and his silver dagger, and his shield. Khufu leaves behind his silver dagger, his regular dagger, And Sakani will ask about the quarterstaff, if that is permitted or not.
Depends. Is it a walking stick?
It is not required for him to walk. It is merely an inquiry, if he must leave it behind or not.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 23.
God damn it! What was that again? Another.
19.
19.
It's fine as long as he doesn't break anything or bash anybody over the head.
He nods. Of course, my brother is an utmost gentleman.
I will lay out carefully on the weapon rack. My short bow, my short sword, my 18 arrows, 1 silver dagger, 2 daggers, and I will leave the sun sword, the hilt of the sun sword in my bag. And I still have my cat's claws.
Okay, is the hilt like inside or is it poking out?
It's inside.
Okay. And obviously you can't leave your claws.
Yeah, Sakani and Ku technically have teeth, so they don't like to use them to fight. If they get into a mad, murderous rage, they will bite.
Yeah, but some things that you bite don't taste good.
Carlos will leave his bag. I pretty much have everything of his in there. I'll just leave his bag behind. Although I am going to keep the flask of holy water on me. And of course, I'm not even going to tell him straight up. Oh, it's a drinking flask.
It's holy water, you can drink it.
Yeah,
It's water.
I thought it's a drinking flask.
That's fine.
I will attempt to see if I can keep my mace by. It's a symbol of the church. So it occurs as a status symbol.
Make a persuasion check.
I'd be trying to stash a dagger in my boot, but
Natural 20.
What?
Look, it's right there.
Everybody's getting good rolls tonight. Well, then again, it's not combat, so.
we've
It's
had
an ornament from the fucking sky.
Okay, so what do you say again about it?
I would like to keep my mace of destruction as a symbol of my status in the church.
If it's for religious purposes, you may hold on to it, but as I explained to Sakani, was it?
Yes.
It will not be brandished as a weapon, only as a status.
That's all that we request. Thank you.
And as a sign of good faith, I will leave my light crossbow. And that's all I have for weapons. My light crossbow and all the ammunition I will be carrying.
Okay.
screw it. I am going to take a dagger and try and stash it in my boot as best I can.
Meanwhile, Sakani and Khufu, the two trained for diplomacy, basically trained bodyguards, like, no, we're in his hall, we need to at least follow his laws.
Alright, anything else? I could put that nice boot team in there.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
Hold on, I'm pretty sure, did I? Yes! Thank you, Pass Me. Pass Me has brain cells. Yeet. Pass 14, sir.
You beat him by 1.
Hallelujah.
So he does not see you stash the knife.
Oh, hey, old boot knife.
It's just like, you're putting everything away as you're slipping it down, you're just like kicking the base of like the wall to settle your boots or something.
Yeah. And just fucking. You're proud of. That allows me to do sneak attack damage still. You can still do your sneak attack with your claws. I can't with my fists.
If it comes to a fight, Khufu will throw up Sakani a quarterstaff.
See, until you said the quarterstaff,
Yeah.
you had to play pause. It's like, cool, we'll throw Sakani.
Kitty!
But it's funny, I actually did see a Goliath barbarian use a dwarf gnome as a club. Just pick him up and whack!
So yeah, that'd be funny, just like, Sakani! Just shout that to him, like, Sakani!
Wait, no. You know how in Final Fantasy VIII you could equip the dog as a wrist-mounted rocket launcher?
Oh god!
Time out. What the fuck?
Comes down to a fight.
One of the characters in Final Fantasy VIII has a dog. You can equip it as a wrist-mounted rocket launcher.
Yeah, it comes to a fight. Khufu kneels down, puts a hand on the floor. Sakani runs up and perches on the shoulder ready to jump.
No, it's a Wolverine Hulk Fast Pass special.
Yay!
Anyway,
Hilarious.
so with all that taken care of, Escher and Rahan. Well then, gentlemen, if you please, follow us inside and out of the rain.
I will pass a silver coin to the attendant Escher.
Thanks.
Hand touched the silver. Sa!
I'm going to write this down.
I don't know how useful that'll be. I mean, you don't typically tip the steward, which is why I can presume the guy is.
I assumed he was like an attendant.
Like a
I don't
ballet.
know. Like a valet.
Okay,
Little did you know, you
okay.
offended him.
Okay,
Congrats.
okay, assuming you live and depending on how things go, I just wrote down Escher plus blue equals bud.
Oh, nice. Bitchin'.
So, they lead you into the castle. It's very ornate, but you can tell it's ancient, but it's been kept up. There are some cobwebs here and there, mostly in like a lot of the out-of-reach places. It's pretty dimly lit in the hall that you step into, the entry hall, but that's mostly due to the torches burning down a bit. There are various frescoes all over the place, signs of the age of this place. A lot of them are cracked and worn away. But as you can also see, as you wander and you look up into the rafters almost, you've probably seen this in some of your churches as well. There are like stone statues up there of various grotesque-looking creatures that you recognize as gargoyles. But they're most of them. Well, they're not moving per se, but you can see plainly, clearly as you guys walk, their heads doing this. Rahaden, don't worry. They have explicit orders not to harm you. Everything in this castle has orders to leave you unharmed.
Good to know, thank you.
Of course. You are our master guests, after all.
His grace is most courteous. Provide us that protection.
And let me see. He eventually leads you. They eventually lead you through a couple more double doors, past a small octagonal-shaped room full of columns. And I need to bring this up here. And as you all approach, you can hear, after a fucking ad,
Very modern music.
the sound of an organ playing as you all approach. And Escher says, yes. The master thought he'd get in some organ time before you all showed up.
That's
He does like to keep himself occupied. It's his favorite hobby, after all. Next to other things that he doesn't like to divulge with us.
See,
He's very good.
He's had 400 years of practice.
Yeah. It's fair. Very fair.
I imagine it only took 100 to be a master.
Anybody can be a master at anything with enough time.
Indeed.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering, this is Bloody Tears played on an organ.
okay.
I'm surprised it.
Sounds really good.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the Bloodborne music. Go for that gothic horror.
No, I found this a few months ago just browsing around for Curse of Strahd music, and I saw this, and I'm like, wait, what?
Huh?
Okay, I'm going to use that. And you all enter into this long dining room with let me start that over. You enter into this long room. There are 3 chandeliers hanging from the ceiling and are illuminating it. Pillars of stone against the walls supporting the ceiling. And in the center is a long, heavy table. It's covered with a fine white satin cloth labeled with roasted beef. I am going to read this verbatim. roasted with many delectable foods. Roasted beef, basted in a savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, and sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for you with fine, delicate china and silver, and each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid. And at the center, to the far west wall, is the organ that is currently being played by a man with 3 women kind of standing around and watching him.
I'm guessing we can tell who the man is.
You have an idea.
I just sit and listen and wait for my chance to.
I pull the dagger and go for it.
I would suggest that.
I will move to scratch paws. It's like, when do you see an opportunity to break away?
Definitely not now.
Eventually, one of the women kind of glances over, leans down, and whispers something to the man, and the organ music stops.
Carlos, through the power of thieves' cant, while remarking about the decoration of the hall, will encode message to you. I'll wait for your remark.
Sakani will quietly say, be mindful of what you say around in this room. He will likely hear it quite well.
And you see these 3 women. They're pretty tall. One is slightly darker skin and wearing a long white gown. The other one is more light skin, wearing red. And the other one is shorter than the others and is wearing kind of like a golden bronze color. And the man stands up, taller than them, and turns to face you. You 3 have seen him before.
It is the Big Daddy Dick himself.
It's the man of the hour. It is Strahd von Zarovich looking at you all with a welcoming smile. Ah, you made it. Welcome, friends.
I take a step back with my left leg, and I bow deep.
I follow suit.
Sakani and Kufu will give their formal bow from their lands, which is kind of is crossing their arms and
Wakanda
bowing
forever!
and bowing basically to a right angle.
Interesting.
I said Carlos will.
Like, and then bow. I could not, for the life of me, find anything on how ancient Egyptians would prostrate themselves to their pharaoh.
Assuming they even did.
Oh no, they would have. The pharaoh was basically revered as a god.
I think it's like a deep knees on ground bow.
Probably one of those.
That's something we gotta watch Prince of Egypt for.
Anytime you say the Pharaoh, you might bring the eternally cursed with this fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. The Pharaoh!
Why do you think I made the card games joke earlier?
I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, he just kind of watches you all do that. Interesting. Turns to you. Ah, hello, I don't believe we met before.
Yes, he bows again and says, "Greetings, Your Grace. I am Sakani," and he gestures to Kufu. "This is my brother, Kufu. I apologize for being rather newly arrived. My brother, he is not one to speak."
Fair enough. One of the women kind of glances between you 2 and Scratch Paws. He's more adorable.
He would, as casually as he can, shrug and say, "My people are not renowned for their acuteness. We are more warriors."
Well, I'd be more than happy to hear about your people. Please, everyone, take a seat.
I sit
He will sit down and Kufu will be next to him.
I'll sit next to Scratch Paws.
Carlos will sit wherever the seat is available.
If anyone asks Kufu to speak, Kufu will have to rise, walk to the other side of the room, and just say...
Look how loud I have to yell!
No, it's like, I'm not yelling. This is a whisper.
All I'm imagining is just, how about that airline?
God, imagine him with a fucking microphone.
I'm scared.
That's
Megaphone.
how you break the base of every speaker in the room.
As you all sit down, Strahd says, "Allow me to introduce myself, even if you have already met me. I am Lord Strahd von Zarovich, your gracious host for this evening. These are my brides, Anastasia, Valenta, and Ludmilla. And I see you've already been acquainted with Escher, and of course you already know Rahadin. Now please, tell me about yourselves. I'm quite interested to know where you all came from."
Anyone gonna speak first, or will Sakani will happily speak first?
My lord, it is good to see you again. I am from Ellesmere.
Not sure I'm familiar, but okay. I come from the same town. Ellesmere. Well,
I come from a distant land of endless dunes, of endless sands, with a river serving as the heartland.
and you? Come now, there's no need to be nervous. You're among friends.
Well, my lord,
Friends like
I
these.
come from a small town called Galt. It's in the Onder province of Corvair. It's a technologically advanced sort of place. Might I inquire, my lord, have you heard of a lightning river?
He glances around, and everyone else just kind of,
No, can't say I have.
I think it would be a great dinner conversation. I could explain them to you. They're wonderful pieces of technology.
I'd like to hear about it at some point.
It would be my pleasure, my lord.
So, bet you're all probably wondering why I invited you here.
We are curious, to say the least.
what?
All I can fucking think of is just this terrible fucking meme. So you're just like in a very precarious situation. So you're probably wondering how I got here. That's all I can think.
Sakani would speak up and say, "My brother and I only newly arrived when your servant, Rashadin, informed us of this invitation and that we would be welcome. I was scarcely aware of it until he told us. He said so."
Well, the simple fact is, I could use some help. You see, I'm planning an event, something quite personal, something big, but I need some help gathering some things. And after looking in on you and seeing what some of you have done, some more than others due to their time being here, some a little less so due to, again, the time being here, you all seem quite capable. But, yes, here's what I'm asking. The event that I'm putting together. Well, I think you may know it involves a certain someone,
And he glances over to Irina, who's just kind of looking, holding her goblet, like it's on the verge of cracking.
If you'd be willing to hear me out.
It would be my pleasure.
We are at your disposal, Your Grace.
Well, hopefully you'll do better than the last bunch. There's a...
I need to actually pull up the map here and see where it is in relation.
Close to the back of the head.
Well, first, there's an area to the far west of the Barovian Valley known as the Wizard of Wines.
I need a shipment from there brought here within, say, about 2 weeks. What?
Crosses the back of the head. Oh, fuck, we're the wine guys. Fuck!
Oh. And also, perhaps you'd be interested in being the guest of honor. For you see, the reason that it's, as I said, it's the reason that I asked you to bring her. I have a name, you know! That was Irina yelling.
Yeah.
You're talking with yourself.
Sakani.
That tends to happen when you're DM.
Sakani and Cooper are probably on either side of Irina if what's the other guy isn't next to her.
Which one? Rahadin? Escher?
No,
Ismark?
Ismark, yeah, that's his name.
See. Where do I begin? And one of the brides speaks up. How about the beginning, darling? You see, I wasn't always this monster that they like to portray me as. I was alive once, like all of you. But along the way, became what I am now. I'll admit most of it is my fault. But can you blame me? When I fell, can you blame a man for falling in love?
My lord, we have all made mistakes.
Her name was Tatiana. She spurned me for my brother. You hear the sword. Oh, this son of a bitch. Here he goes.
You kept sword on you? Question mark?
It's in his backpack.
Okay.
But I wanted her for myself. Of course, you know how women are. They don't like the old man. So I did what I thought I had to do. Made a deal. Became what I am now, after I killed my brother, Sergei.
Is he making a lot of eye contact with me?
No.
Okay.
I just happen to be... He's actually just kind of like looking around all casually at all of you. I just happen to be looking that way.
Sakani is listening attentively.
But, alas, Irina threw herself from the castle before I could explain myself. But as it turns out, this land works a bit differently than where I assume you all come from. I almost had to say you guys. I want to work for him. Tell me, how do souls work where you all come from? Do they linger? Do they pass on? How does it work?
I hail. We've never really had much in terms of contact with the dead. We have an understanding of the soul that may be different, but when you die, you pass through gates of the underworld and are judged and placed accordingly.
Well, and we let our souls pass on, but many years ago, during my grandfather's time, there was a incident in which souls were being misused and appropriated for nefarious reasons. But aside from that, for the most part, they just move on, or unless something acts on them to keep them there.
It is my firm belief that every soul has its place in the universe. And when it's time for that person to move on to a new life, they will go there.
And you, Mr. Paz?
I don't know why.
Remember, we come from
I'm trying to decide whether I want to
Okay.
say something myself or just say what you said.
Right.
As far as I am able to tell, my lord, it works very similar to here. Only elsewhere.
Well, here's what I learned. Shortly after my family arrived in the valley, and shortly after I became what I am. So there is no afterlife here. Soul lingers. Eventually, it's reborn into a new body. It's a body that's born without a soul, making it a function simply soulless. I've been alive for 400 years. Tatiana's soul has resurrected multiple times in those 4 centuries. Most recently, as I've discovered, the body of your friend Irina. Irina's just kind of looking like half, what the fuck are you talking about? Half, I don't believe you, kind of part, holy shit.
Yeah, Sakani would speak up and say, that would be unheard of where I hail from. Though where I come from, we have a number of rituals for the dead to ensure they go safely and swiftly to their anointed resting place. For a soul to linger would be outright heresy.
Asher speaks up, well, heresy for you maybe, but here it seems to be pretty normal. Also, our ritual for the dead, yeah, we bury them.
Our
No
rituals
frustration.
are a bit more in depth. For the highly born, it is a complete process of mummification, as we call it, removal of organs, and they are buried as well with their host. The poor are, their bodies are cleansed and they are wrapped and buried.
One of the brides, Valenta speaks up, that's a bit excessive, don't you think? Not to mention, highly expensive, I'm sure.
It is a ritual affair. It's a matter of faith and goodness for the soul. The organs rot, and as the organs rot, that rot we have come to believe spreads to the soul. We try to cleanse the body as best we can for all to prevent that rot. But it is, as you say, a costly affair.
You may have to teach me that. That sounds quite interesting, Mr. Sakani, was it?
Yes, unfortunately, neither me nor my brother are priests. We are not trained in those arts.
Ah. Oh well.
We know of them as we have served our Lord for our entire lives, and he has overseen one as part of his duties as Pharaoh.
Ronan kind of glances over to Strahd. The Lord, like you. Probably in a different context.
The way I come from, it's soul lingering is generally working with necromancy. For the most part, most of our dead are buried as well. The only exceptions I know of are some have more, I think it's more a matter of heritage or religion, creative ways of disposing of their dead. My family actually have had to burn our dead because, when you have enough fights with a necromancer and constantly seeing corpses brought to life, it makes you a little paranoid about having your own.
Honestly. Actually, that's one of the brides speaks up. Honestly, I can believe it. Strahd, well, as I said, our souls tend to linger, sometimes being reborn into a new body, as Tatiana's constantly is. For 400 years, every time I find out what new body she's been reborn into, I have to have her, but every time I get so close, she slips away, usually through death. This last incarnation looks over to Irene and starts addressing her directly. For a while, you did a good job evading me, but I found you. And I have to thank all of you for bringing her to me. Of course, it's not like you have much of a choice. I directly requested it.
In the back of his head, Carlos, son of a bitch!
And the event that I'm planning, that I'm asking for your help with, well, you see, Anastasia, Volenta. I'm still learning names here. Ludmilla. 3 brides. Escher and Escher, a consort. I wouldn't mind making Irina the 4th.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And you just hear a as the goblet shatters.
Now, let me guess, her hand is now profusely bleeding.
No, she's holding her fist tight so it's keeping the blood in.
Why do I feel like I'm on a Steve Wilkos episode?
What?
Steve Wilkos episode.
You lost me on that one, sir.
Yeah.
It's like a family drama kind of thing.
Oh.
Kind of shit. Kind of like
I don't know stuff like that, G.
I don't watch Maury or Jerry Springer.
yeah, it's like that.
I
Like
watched
that.
reality.
Crash Boss just feels like he's a third wheel out
I watch it for the art. I watch it for the issues.
Jerry!
oh my!
Oh my god. No,
That kind of is useless. I read it for the articles.
no, Strahd!
Which actually used to be a thing with like Playboy.
Oh,
Playboy had some real good articles in today.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, that's where we are now. Strahd just dropped that bomb.
Strahd Heifer.
Scratch Paws is playing his best poker face, and he's trying to keep an open mind. It's not his battle.
Carlos is keeping a poker face, but internally is going fuck.
What did we walk into?
Sakani will speak up and say, "That is a startling revelation, Your Grace. I would not believe it without some form of evidence or reasoning behind it if you had pardoned me.
And what sort of evidence would you like to see?
Some means to prove what you say is true is all that is best, but I do not know how your souls work here beyond what you say. That they reincarnate is one thing, but that is something I can only scarcely believe.
What is whole being reborn into a new body?
Yes, that is not something we are accustomed to where I hail from.
Sad thing is, it's a little difficult for me to show that. Souls are, as I'm sure you know, very
Intangible things, yes.
tangible, abstract. Of course, I could always just kill someone and wait a certain amount of time, but there's no guarantee.
Just kind of like, okay.
I'm assuming, out of character, by reborn, it's like being born as a baby and growing up all over again.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, maybe you could show us the process.
Like, basically what he's saying is the soul kind of lingers, not as a ghost per se, but just kind of like, sort of like in an ethereal sort of sense, like in the ethereal plane, and like, usually right as someone's about to be born, the soul's like, mine.
Like smoke traffic.
Kind of. Or, just basic reincarnation.
Well, I will wait for a lull in the conversation, and I will pipe up.
There's a bit of a lull after that, yeah.
Oh.
It's just kind of like dead silent, except for maybe a few slight chuckles from from the brides.
I'm eating. I'm digging in. I'm not looking suspicious. I'm eating.
Upon
It's pretty fucking good.
I'm also enjoying it.
Upon her, shattering the glass and cutting her fucking hand up, Carlos will, bow his head a little bit, say, excuse me, and he walks over to, medicine check. Address her fucking bleeding hand.
Make a medicine check.
That's it.
They're not.
I'd also like to point out that I'm not eating like a barbarian, and I'm using the appropriate cutlery for the food that I'm eating.
Screws up, use the wrong fork on salad.
Yeah.
Use,
Not me. Not me.
Sakani will assist him in that regard.
Okay, then do it with advantage.
I don't think I even need it, but okay.
Wow, what was that?
I rolled 2 16s. What the F? They definitely are a pair. That is a 21, sir.
Yeah, you I would imagine you do have a medicine pack on you, so yeah, her hand is kind of cut up. There's still shards of glass in there, so you have to pick out some of the bigger ones.
I have pliers, so just
Yeah, it takes a few minutes to pluck them all out and then wrap it up in gauze.
As I'm eating and enjoying the meal, I will compliment the chef, of course.
Australia speaks up. Oh, thank you. I worked very hard on it.
It's so good. You must give me the recipe. I'm a cleric of knowledge, you see. And I like to flex my knowledge of various subjects.
Well, before you leave, you'll have to remind me to give you a copy of my cookbook.
I would love to read it.
Yeah.
Milady,
How
would you
fresh?
While all that, yeah,
How long
Kufu
has it been
and
sitting
Skani
out
are
for?
eating in between speaking.
Maybe about 20 minutes. Enough for it to not completely lose, its warmth, but still not to be scalding hot after having just come out fresh off the oven.
Well, I like my food hot, so if anyone is paying attention, you'll notice Strahd is just kind of pointing at the food and lifting his hands up and warming it up just a little bit.
Prestidigitation, I guess.
Using his prestidigitation.
While there's kind of a lull, Sakani will pose a question to Strahd.
Yes.
You speak of the soul in a very concrete way, which in your land their soul is very concrete. But what else is there of your souls here? Where I hail from, we view our souls rather differently.
How so?
Rather than our soul, where I hail from, we view our souls in 5 distinct parts. First being your name. The name that you were given at birth is coincidental. The name that is part of your soul is what defines you, the truest part of you. Then we have you that your own shadow is also part of it. It holds some essence of you. Beyond that is the heart itself, that it is the key to it all, a holder for it, as it were. There is also your person. I have to bro through this and try to translate it to fucking Sakani speak. There is also your personality, that most unique thing of you. You can have people with named the same, with souls and everything, but your personalities will always be different, yes?
True.
Then there is the very fact that you live. A life force that keeps you around is also part of it. It is a bit complicated for non-worthy, those who are not of the priestly class.
Let me ask you this. As a vampire, as an undead, 5 out of the 6 of my court.
He glances over to Rahad and
He's the only one who isn't. What would you classify us as? Given that we're neither living nor dead.
You still have a physical form in the sense that you exist. You have a driving force, a force of motion to you that the true dead do not. While you have everything about you that defines to us, you still possess your soul. Everything about you that I have gathered thus far indicates that, by our accounts, you still possess your soul, and thus you are, in a way, still alive.
Volanta speaks up. I suppose you could say that. We do still have needs. Sure, vampires drink blood, but that's just to give us the true nutrients to survive. As you can see, we are perfectly capable of eating real food.
Yes.
But to answer your earlier question about the soul, that's a very difficult thing to answer. I'm actually going to look this up.
Yeah, so, what I'm heard there is that the Egyptian view of the soul has the Ren, which is your name, the Shut, which is your shadow or silhouette. If you have no shadow, you do not make a mark on the world. The Ib, the metaphysical heart, the focus of emotion, thought, will, and intention. Ba, which is your personality, and the Ka, which is the vital fire or spark that distinguishes living people from dead.
That's a very interesting look on that idea. I kind of.
Okay, well,
food for thought.
that was Valenta saying
And
that.
they, part of their ritualistic like mummification, they believe that parts of the organs held parts of that.
Well, that was Valenta speaking up, saying about the souls.
Yeah.
Escher interrupts and says, "Well, if you want the definition of the term soul, that would be yes. I memorized this out of a dictionary. I got bored. Okay.
I'm out of character. I'm giving you guys time to fucking think things out.
Yeah, I know. I'll actually make a comment to that, but I'm waiting.
We can consider it as either the immaterial essence, animating principle, or the actual cause of an individual life, sort of similar to what you were saying earlier, or the spiritual principle embodied in all human beings. But the way that these things work, think of them as, I wouldn't quite say ghosts, but something similarly ethereal. Imagine a person's entire being stripped from them.
That for us would be the complete removal of one's body, one's personality.
You could say that, but you could say that, yes. And as our master was saying, every so often a soul will be reborn, or, if you prefer the term, reincarnated. As with your friend, Miss Irina, who is the latest reincarnation of Miss Titania.
I must say it's a different outlook on the idea on what the soul is compared to what I would be akin to.
Yeah, some people would simply say ghost, wouldn't they?
I've grown up with more the idea of the soul is.
I love that we're getting metaphysical.
Yes, we are.
I
Deep shit,
actually kind of like this too.
man. I enjoy it.
But don't worry, Marcus. We'll be wrapping up here because I know you got to get going.
I know, it's alright. I'm eating my food and I'm listening.
I would say I've always gone with more the notion that a person is, in a sense, more their soul than they are their body. Your body is merely just what your soul resides in. Your personality, your existence, your very being is your soul. And I would definitely say, given some experience I've seen and heard, I would definitely say the idea of reincarnation would not. It's not hard for me to believe. I've seen firsthand a resilient soul somehow managing to cling to the world, even though they should have moved on.
Rebirth is not something wholly uncommon among that my people do not. We have a sense of it in our beliefs. Our chief god, god of the sun, our beliefs indicate that he lives and dies in a constant cycle. When the sun rises, he is born again. When the sun sets, he dies and goes through the underworld.
That's like a hellish lifestyle.
He grows old as our legends say. He grows old with the hours.
I see.
That's actually a fucking thing with Ra.
It is. I would
He's fucking in death.
Why do you think they used it for Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
I've always held a thought process when it comes to, I guess if they, with vampires, would be a matter of, I believe vampires have most of their soul intact, you could say. It's more of a matter of a piece of it, a portion of it has become corrupted, defiled in a sense.
A perfect explanation, Mr. Bass.
And when, I know this will be in not the greatest conversation topic, but you make a career such as I have, you tend to become familiar with.
In between bites, I say, I wonder where the soul of the roast beef went. And I say with this one.
You elicit some laughs.
Yeah, Takani would chuckle and say, we have never...
Well, no, that depends on if you... Lumilla speaks up. Well, that depends on if you believe animals have souls.
Sakani would say, part of our belief of the soul is partly prevents that the idea that
Which
simple animals...
is funny because the Egyptians also mummified animals.
Yeah, that simple like cattle beasts will not necessarily have a soul. They may have the perception of personality and various other aspects, but it was not in the same sense. Perhaps they do, but we cannot clarify it in our exact positions.
That's an interesting outlook. That difference.
They may have their own souls and their own afterlives, their own gods.
That is an interesting outlook compared to my own. I would regard animals as having a soul as well. Given my grandfather's experience with them, he was very in tune with nature there.
Am I able to see Irina from where I'm sitting?
Yeah,
Can I
she's
make eye
still
contact?
kind of half in shock, half pissed.
Meanwhile, everyone's talking metaphysics.
She's not even paying attention.
Yeah,
and Ezra's just kind of there trying to like, I'm here for you.
While this
Okay.
is going
Carl
on,
was
I'm going to
keep
try and
conversation
eyeball
off that, and also trying to give time
Scratch
to
Paws as
everyone
well
to
to try
process
and get a
what's
plan
going
for
on,
Yeah.
how we can
non-verbally.
fix this problem.
Yeah, that's why Sakani so broke up. Like,
I'm trying to ease the tension and gain trust by being lighthearted.
Back to this straw. I was about to call him the straw man. Thank you, Dan.
Strawman. He just becomes
No,
Scarecrow.
seriously. When Zamal heard Strahd's name, he heard it not as it spelled it as Strahd, like straw past tense.
It became a good name to try not to sound.
So hence he started calling him the straw man. But no, Strahd continues. Anyway, yes. But you see, a soul can also be corrupted, as mine was. As the souls of the people down there are. Whether it be through despair, hate, love. That's the song I was playing on the organ, what I was inspired by.
It was a beautiful song.
Thank you, I've had 400 years to refine it.
Would it be out of the question, my lord, if I could attempt to play something for you?
Make a persuasion check.
Sounds like they goes to play it. The kin to
Oh.
fail.
Just for laugh, I'll have him roll an insight. Okay.
Perhaps the personality of the roast beef was getting good.
Shit. What was your thing again?
I was hoping to play the
No. What was your roll? Okay, he ended up rolling a 19 on insight, but he kind of looks at you and says, "You know what? Even though it's set for me, if you think you can, go ahead and give it a try."
I will do my very best. Lord, thank you. I will take this opportunity to activate my channel divinity for the day to gain proficiency with the organ.
Okay, I think you do still have to roll a performance check, don't
I
you?
still have to roll
You still have to roll a performance check, but you just had your proficiency to it this time.
Yeah. And I will guidance myself
Go ahead.
to add a d4 to that.
Perfect. As he's going up to do this,
All eyes are kind of on him now.
alright, so I'm going to stand up. My lord, may I inquire about the rest? Could I use
Asher speaks up. Down the hall to your left, there's the privy.
Alright, then I make my way down the hall.
Okay. Let's look at first.
15, 20, modified 20?
You actually play it almost as good, if not slightly better than Strahd did.
Can I pull something of what I would
Go ahead.
try to play for him?
Go
Can I
ahead.
borrow your phone for
Yes.
5 minutes?
Yes,
Car-
absolutely.
Carlos will not even attempt to follow you solely on the meme of right now. Carlos's thought process is
Yeah.
this bombshell changes plans.
Yeah,
This
and
is-
you are part of this conversation.
This is
to
a-
an extent.
Yeah, this is like you've been pretty silent, so you can slip easy. Carlos would have a hard time slipping away for a long extended period.
As he's getting ready to play, Anastasia turns towards you. You were talking about your profession earlier. You don't mind if I ask what it is, do you?
It would be the topic of it would be impolite.
I see. Hey.
Okay, this would be the song I would try to play. I said it was inspired by passion and righteous warfare.
Well, you suppose dog in an arena win for it.
Having a cook bitch that.
One winged angel.
You
demonic bastard!
You motherfucker! You son of a.
That is only second to the thought I thought you were gonna play. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
What was it? Dancing Mad?
No, here's what I thought you were gonna play. Give me a second, I gotta find it. Shit, no.
Yeah, this is I'd be playing, trying to draw as much attention as I can. Going in, like I'm riling myself up. I'm standing up, playing as well, trying to draw attention. I'm going to hold it for about. I can only do it for about 10 minutes. I'm going to try to draw as much attention as I can, like really throwing myself into this.
Okay, that's pretty good. You didn't play what I thought you were gonna play. If it wouldn't have worked, don't want to work, and I just heard a sample of it up out of curiosity. I thought you were gonna rickroll our asses.
No.
I thought you were gonna go for the fucking rickroll.
No, I was going for something fiery and passionate that I could really draw attention with.
Hold on. If you're talking about that, give me an idea. I got one for you.
Ulcer.
No.
Okay, so you managed to slip away. Nobody. Actually, make a stealth check real quick with advantage.
Oh yes. You know, that doesn't even sound that bad. I'm curious if any of you.
Amazingly, thank God I have advantage. That will be a 20.
Yeah, nobody sees you leaving. Not even your allies who knew you were going to do this. They don't see you leave. You just kind of slink out.
I rolled a fucking 9. Mod 20.
No. If you brought them fiery and passion.
Do the fire and the flame.
Hey, yo, you wrong for that.
Thing is, don't even sound that half bad, honestly.
Actually, no, I'm actually getting pumped.
Metal is a lot like classical, just with different instruments. It really is. And like, if you look at it on a sheet, metal is a lot like classical.
Okay, so
like if I heard that in like a fucking Dark Souls boss fight, like I'd be okay with this. I would be down.
Okay, so as you exit out the door you came in, you see an arched hallway to the east stretching for about 20 feet that ends in a spiral staircase that goes up and down. Next to that hallway is a suit of armor that's oiled, glistening, and standing at attention in a shallow alcove. On the west is a large double door that's hanging slightly open with, oh wait, no, that's the dining room, dumbass. Yeah, so that's what you see in this room. Let me see here. Which is, adjacent to the entry room with those 4 pillars, and a staircase to the north that climbs up. and another set of double doors to the east that is currently closed.
I will go towards the double doors to the east.
Alright, so you go there, open up those doors, and this is a grand hall. It's choked with dust. It stretches into darkness, but you have dark vision, so you can see just fine. There's webs hanging from the arched ceiling. These webs are so old they almost look like drapes. Life-size statues of knights in the hallway on both sides, and their eyes seem to be watching you.
I will just mutter to myself, interesting, and I will continue to carefully walk down this hall.
Okay, it comes to another set of double doors at the end. Above it, it's old, it's beaten bronze that has the visage of a rising or setting sun.
Well, would I be able to tell if it had any magical properties?
Make an Arcana check.
Nat 20.
It does not.
Okay, and then I will carefully try to open this door.
The door opens into a room with dim colored lights filtering through tall, broken, boarded up windows of stained glass. This is you get the sense this is like the ancient chapel, the church chapel. There's some bats fluttering near the top of this 90-foot dome ceiling, not paying any attention to you. There's a balcony running the length of the west wall, about 50 feet up. And in the center of the balcony, there are two. Well, would you even be able to see that?
This is all very complex.
Yeah, the balcony is about 50 feet up, so you won't be able to see that part. There are benches coated with centuries of dust just lying all about it in jumbled disarray. Beyond this, lit by a shaft of light, there's an altar. Atop a stone platform. The sides are carved with bas reliefs of angelic angels entwined in grapevines. And there's a cloaked figure draped over the altar with a black mace on the floor near its feet.
Can I tell if it's alive?
You walk a little bit closer. Poke. Poke. Long dead.
Well, it wouldn't look very good of me to be walking back in with a mace.
There is a small, like a little statuette on the altar that he's kind of like. Actually, before I do that, make an investigation check, see if you can see this thing.
Investigation. Oh, almost rolled off. That's one.
Oh, god damn it.
Damn, son.
There's a, you see something like poking out from underneath him, so you have to kind of like move him out of the way, and it is a small, statuette sort of thing. Finding all the items.
Yeah.
It's a 12-inch tall statuette made of, like, almost pure silver. Pick it up, it weighs about 10 pounds. It has the depiction of a cleric kneeling with his hands up like this, like supplication. Yeah, you might as well mark on your inventory, Icon of Ravenloft. He's finding all of the things.
Yeah, because he's the one who doesn't give a shit about what we're actually doing.
Clearly not.
This is all part of the plan.
I'm just trying.
Getting information was the part of the plan, not him stealing an item from the guy's chapel.
I'm looking for. I don't know where to look. I just happened to find some cool stuff.
Yeah, just to give you an idea of just how big. That's what you would have seen from outside.
Yeah, that's a giant one, and we would have no real ability to figure out the depths of this place.
Are there any other doors in this?
There are little areas to the northeast and southeast. arched rooms connected to vast chambers with a staircase. The one that rises to the west. Yeah, they both. Yeah, they both head up to the west.
So there's 2 doors in the chapel, aside from the one that I came through.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking that this place is much bigger than I can explore within the time frame of Bathroom Break. So I will head back the way that I came, and I will explore the staircase going up from the door that I left from the dining room.
Okay. That leads all the way up there. Okay, this eventually leads you to a 10-foot wide walkway that encircles most of the keep. It's still raining out there. You can still hear it with the occasional clap of thunder. You can see the courtyard down below. Hold on, let me look at the thing in here. Yeah, you're basically on the outside parapets.
Okay. I'll go back down, and I will. What else did you say was there from the dining room? There's like an eastern staircase and a northern staircase and an eastern hallway that leads to the church.
Yep. So yeah, that other big staircase to the north, which would be that one.
I'll go down the stairs from the one I'm on.
Okay then.
Dude, I thought Kenny ripped his page. I was like, whoa, what are you doing?
Blasphemy. Heresy.
I was just concerned for how much money you might have spent on that.
$50.
Yeah, so I'd be real concerned with you tearing the page. I'd be like, that ain't like you, Kenny.
Okay, so where the staircase leads you this time is. Hang on, let me see something here. Yeah, where the staircase leads you this time is to a high dome ceiling on a 30-foot wide octagonal room. There are old frescoes painted on the walls that have aged. So old the image you can't make out the images. And there are tall, thin arrow slits that look out over the courtyard. Oh wait, no, hold on, that was the wrong thing. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the turret post. This is the turret post access hall, which is just a long, narrow corridor filled with cobwebs. That's about it.
So I go downstairs and I end up on another roof.
No, you're like in a. How do I explain this? You went down. The staircase circles downstairs one level, and you are now like where the archers would be. Like if there were invaders coming, easy access for the archers.
Okay. I'm assuming I could infer that.
Yeah, with the arrow slits.
Okay, so then I'll go back up and then I will go downstairs from the staircase to the north.
That one only goes up.
Okay, then yeah, I'll go with it.
Alrighty then. This one leads to a landing 20 feet by 40 feet with stone arches supporting the ceiling. This one you can actually make out the frescoes, which feature armored knights on horseback. It's pretty dusty in here too. At the end of the south wall, there's a staircase that goes up, and between the staircase are twin alcoves, each one with a standing suit of armor. And they're also clutching a mace which is shaped like the head of which is shaped like a dragon's head.
So you said the staircase goes down and up.
This one goes up.
Okay, I'll go up that staircase.
Okay. Okay. So this one leads into a great hall. You can see there's broken glass and iron lattice work kind of all over the place. There's a large window in the west wall. And you can get a sense of chilly, foreboding darkness as soon as you step into this room. There are hundreds of cobwebs, like, all over the place. You can't even see the ceiling with all these webs. And directly across from the window set a set of double doors in the east wall. Farther to the south is a single door that leads from the east wall, and there are obviously the staircases you came from that lead down. And at the far end is a large broken throne, a wooden throne, atop of which is a that stands atop a marble dais, and it's facing south away from the room.
I will approach the throne.
Alright, let's see. Okay.
I'm willing to bet if he tries to sit on that throne, Strahd has some way of detecting when someone else's ass is on that thing.
Go over,
Just
sit,
teleport there instantly and just throw.
nothing. I think I might have gone my geography backwards because that staircase led down and up. The arrow slits, I think, were on the upper floor. The geography in this place is weird.
Yeah, I'm trying to just make a mental note.
I mean, even the map that they give is just like, where the fuck am I going?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll take a deep breath on the throne, and then I'll quickly get up, and I'll go through the big double doors.
Meanwhile, downstairs,
Strahd's just standing there.
Strahd kind of whispers over to you. Your cat friend's been gone a while. Alright, so you say you're going to go through the doors?
The big double doors, yes.
Okay, this door opens to reveal another set of doors directly 10 feet ahead of you, and between them is a corridor stretching north to south, and at the end of the hall, floating in the darkness, is or seemingly floating anyway, is a human skeleton clad in rusty armor and tattered livery of a castle guard.
Guys, we should at least not be afraid.
There'll be one there though, Mom. I won't have that motherfucker by that son of a
So, I'm sorry, can you lay that out again?
Okay. The door opens to reveal another set of double doors 10 feet ahead. Between these two doors is a 10-foot wide corridor stretching north to south. At the end of the hall, seemingly floating in the darkness, is a human skeleton clad in the rusted armor and tattered livery of a castle guard.
I will very carefully approach the next set of doors.
Alright, and this one leads into a... What are you doing?
Trying to pull them back because we're at a point where Strahd's noticed.
This 20-foot high hall has a dark vaulted ceiling draped with cobwebs, and there's a low moan that seems to travel the entire length of this corridor as it rises and falls. Takes you a few seconds to realize that's only the wind.
fucking crossrope.
If he gets caught, we should not be in trouble for this.
Why don't you make a perception check?
I will.
What? We
Not
didn't know
one.
he was there.
No,
He done made it a fucking
Okay, never mind.
too long.
So all I see is darkness and cobwebs.
Worst part is
Yep, and another set of double doors at the very, very end.
Insta kill.
Um,
Like no fight, just comes up, snap, done.
I'm obviously having a sense of urgency considering I know how much time is before each sunset and sundown, or sunset, sunrise. So
Okay, so as you go down, there is a, it looks like a little alcove, like to your right, followed by another spiral staircase, also to your right a little bit further down.
okay, well, I'm not keen on traveling any more hallways, so do I see anything interesting in this particular section of the building?
Well, that depends. How far down you walk in the corridor?
The whole way to where there's not, like, I'm going to walk the whole way without opening any doors.
Okay, well, the only door is at the very end, but as you reach the midpoint, you hear the scraping sound of stone against stone, followed by the squeaking of a bat. And in the direction of you turn to the direction of the noise, and what you see is a fanged visage, outstretched claws, and a flapping black cape of a vampire bearing down on you.
Shit, man.
Fuck.
What?
Roll initiative.
Fuck.
Scratch Boss is dead.
Oh no.
We're not even aware of what he's doing.
Sir,
18.
sir,
Okay,
understand.
you're up first.
I,
As this thing just comes barreling down on you with the deep throaty chuckle.
I'm going to disengage and dash away.
I wish you the best of
And
luck.
use my tabaxi speed to my advantage.
I wish you the best of luck, sir. But I need to point out one thing. You fucked around.
Okay,
You're borderline about ready to
so
find
you
out.
you dashed and ran to the other end of the hall, and the
The
north
one
is
I'm going back to where I came from. I'm going back
okay.
to dinner.
As you do, you see the vampire rush to the east end of the hallway, floating about 10 feet above the floor, turning around and flying back into that little alcove that you saw. And as it flies back, you actually get a good look at it. It's only a mannequin.
Well, feeling stupid and having wasted enough time, I'm going back to the dinner as fast as I possibly can, while still being careful.
Okay, I would guess that you're dashing then.
God damn you, Kenny.
No, that's actually what's in here.
You guys are hard.
Fuck you. That's actually what's in here. I am going to read this. The scraping sound is the noise of the hidden compartment opening, and the squeaking is the sound of the pulley supporting the weight of the mannequin as it glides through the air. The chuckling is the harmless magical effect similar to that created by a prestidigitation cantrip.
God.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're going to have to re-describe how I even got there, because that, to me, is going to be the most interesting place to go. When I get the chance.
Alright, we'll figure it out. Like I said, the geography of this place is confusing as hell. But after a little bit of, wait a minute, where the fuck do I go again? You eventually do manage to get back to the dining hall.
I'm going to stop at the door just before I get in. And compose. And whenever I open the door, I'm going to put on a show of just holding my gut and be like, oh.
I was thinking you would. And that's actually right around this time your song finally ends, and you open the door to the sound of, not uproarious, but very noble applause. Golf claps.
I will take a courteous bow.
Let's see the map, sir. Now I'm just intrigued. How complicated is this?
Very.
You know.
Your face says it all.
Yeah, so.
Hold on, I was gonna say, give me a second here. I'm actually.
I will turn as if everything is fine. Like, my lord, it was for you. What did you think?
You play well.
Use the dining hall.
That means much coming through you, my lord.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the dining hall.
K10. Area K10.
Yeah, I pointed it out.
Yeah, the last area he ended up in was area K27 on map 4.
Map 4, K27. I see. I see it.
No metagaming. You guys don't know shit.
No, I'm not. It's a thing of I actually am generally half. I'm actually half decent with like reading maps, even complicated layered ones. I'm just kind of just seeing my brain can wrap around it.
Well, you have the Curse of Strahd book, don't you?
I have the book, but I don't have the revamp, so I don't have the map.
Well, that came out of the original book, so.
I don't think it did. Right? Wait.
Yeah, it did. The perforated map at the back. Most adventure books have them.
Sorry,
Not
Hank.
all of them.
I said most.
I have a Strahd with me, I
Do
believe.
you like being held?
Once he's comfortable with you, but he won't like it for very long. He only likes it when he wants it.
Yeah, alright. Oh, Shiza!
Told you.
Oh shit!
Just be careful pulling it out.
Yeah, I
Rip spine.
tried to pull out the, I think it was Strixhaven one?
I tried to pull out the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and it kind of half ripped.
Yeah, it kind of like ripped out most of, like the whole bit of it.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what you walk back into, and Rahadin turns to you and sees you. Make a deception check.
Mod 20.
Okay, no. Okay, I'm still gonna have to roll insight real quick.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I should have mentioned before. I should have prestidigitated myself to smell bad.
Okay, so you had a mod 20. He rolled a 19 plus 7, so he just kind of looks at you and gives you a mild eyebrow, but says nothing, except for maybe you feel better.
Much.
Good. And I think, how do you guys feel about ending it there?
I also have a +7 in deception.
I'm good with it.
He rolled a 19 plus 7, so
I rolled a 13.
yeah. So like I said, how do you guys feel about ending it there?
Fine,
Yes.
unless continuing on means he just dismisses us from the castle.
Actually, no. Hold on. Well, I think we've discussed enough, and would rather not anyone else get a 15-minute long case of indigestion. So, rather than simply allow you to go back to the locket tonight, I'll be a gracious host and allow you all to stay the night. You have free reign of the castle, except for the towers and the dungeon. Those places are strictly off limits.
Understandable.
Most reasonable, your grace.
Off is not a word in my
Maybe
vocabulary.
not. Sir.
If I said it in character, you would know.
I know that. It's just my brain going,
It's like, well, TPK next time.
well, nice knowing you, Scratch Paws. Have a good life. All 5 seconds left of it.
Good boy. Pretty boy.
Okay, so this is either just my brain because I'm used to this kind of BS with Bloodborne teaching me that shit.
Silver statue.
Honestly, I can read this map pretty well. It's not that hard to wrap my head around, but I think, like I said, I'm used to reading Bloodborne and Dark Souls guide maps, and those things are fucking nightmarish at times. But they're just outlines. With number dots for items.
I mean, most of the other maps in this adventure are your standard D&D map. This is the only one that is disjointed,
Layered to hell.
that is non-linear and isometric.
But on the upswing, at least, this does give they do at least give you the decency of doing the squares, so you can actually see average square is 10 feet, so it allows you to translate this to that pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I have seen there's a semi non-linear isometric one in Rise of Tiamat at the very end.
The Well of Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah. But those old 5e ones were so muddled with the way they tried to make it look like old parchment, it could be hard to read sometimes.
Oh yeah, there was also the fucking castle in Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Nertar?
The Cloud Giant's castle.
Oh, that one. Anyway.
Whatever.
So yeah. When we meet up next time, you guys will have free reign of the castle, save for the towers and the dungeon.
Nice. Yeah.
After a man thought he got murdered there for a minute exploring that.
You guys doubt me so hard. I'm an arcane trickster
Dude,
rogue.
we all no. I'm saying we all thought you were dead.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any faith in my ability.
It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of
It's the fact that the book rickrolls you.
It's not a matter of faith. It's a matter of you were pushing your luck, and all it would take is one encounter that you could not escape from, and you're dead.
Yes,
I will just say this. If you had gone into the next room, there were 2 zombies waiting for you.
That honestly, what I was mostly worried about was you escaped the vampire. Good, great, awesome. You shake him. Here's the problem.
I know I can outrun a vampire.
No. That's not the thing. You get done with that. Awesome. You blood. Here's the problem. He reports to Strahd.
Yeah.
Goose is cooked.
Out of character, Scratch Paws needs to face the consequences of fucking around.
That I don't know about what other.
I think you have a grudge against my character.
Not necessarily. It's a case of you're pushing your goddamn luck way too much.
I would say.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny.
It's cool, but
funny.
he's pushing his luck because
That's
effectively he's untouchable. Because he can outskill and outrun most anything.
Yeah, you say that, but I'd like to remind you, this is the guy who almost died to an electric door.
I literally touched it once.
And
I
the
got knocked out.
and the dice that I rolled matched his hit points exactly. 5d8, rolled 24 damage, he was out.
That'll do her. Yeah, no, like I said, my thing wouldn't necessarily be you can't outrun her, you maybe couldn't take it in a fight. My thing was if that thing reports to Strahd, you're fucked.
Yeah.
At that point, it's Strahd on you.
I don't have a problem with
Well,
Scratch.
how am I supposed to prepare? How am I supposed to just know?
I'm not.
He's not.
That's the thing. I'm not saying that. It's more along the lines of. I guess it's one of those. You fucked around, but it wasn't because you were being dumb. It was more just you need to fuck around to get info. It was more just that's the name of the game.
I don't have a problem with Scratch Paws. I don't have a grudge against him. It's a case of like you're basically untouchable and you can more or less get out of any real trouble.
Well, it all depends on the roll of the dice. Plus, in your defense, you're doing what a rogue does. You
I'm trying
sneak.
to gather info.
You gather info. You sneak. Every now and then, you might get a kick of the sticky fingers. Hopefully the sticky fingers don't. Hopefully the thing that your sticky fingers are touching doesn't bite.
Stay in this campaign long enough, you'll see me fucking find out.
You'll all probably find out at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah, probably.
Carlos almost found out in there in his first fight.
Which we still have to address that at some point, because you are still being followed by that hag.
Yeah! Oh, fuck! You guys didn't take care of that?
She bamped into the ethereal plane.
I figured that was something that got resolved at some point during the last section.
Nope.
I had no
Fuck.
control over.
I know. I'm not
She
blaming
bamped
you.
into the
That's-
ethereal plane, and that was the last you saw of
That's
her.
not me blaming you. That's me going, oh fuck, I thought that was a problem we no longer had to deal with.
Now it's
tried.
very much a problem.
I tried to kill him.
We tried. Tried like it.
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I have no problem with how you're playing Scratch Paws. You're playing him great.
You are. You really are.
Yeah.
Well, if that vampire were an actual vampire, like he said, I would have consequences. We all would.
I think that's why the book made it a joke.
Yeah, that like a sir is not necessarily with your skill or how you play. It's more just the matter of that situation lines everything up for Bonin.
Trust me, I am not invincible like you might think.
I don't think you're invincible.
No, I don't think you're invincible. I think it's a case of you can more or less deal with any problem comes at you just by sheer running away.
So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's just how he is.
Anyway, we'll continue next week. Yep.
He's not an idiot. He's been here a while.